Warning: the views in this program are based on the opinions of hosts and guests. We are four friends who like to sit around and talk about a variety of topics. This show may be political in nature and may appear one-sided if no one of opposition joins in on the conversation. We try to find common ground on sometimes sensitive topics. So grab a beverage of your choice and let's have a conversation.
Why don't you go home and cry to your granny? Dolph, tie up the brat. Lisa, hold the book. Vincent, get the truck. And Keith, darn it, change your name, please. That's not scary, and I'm embarrassed to say it. Boris, try that. Keith, watch out for Keith.
I used to do that.
Fun Dip was so good.
We're having a side discussion here on candy from when we were kids.
Because look what you can't see it. It's behind the logo.
So Lindsay's got candy cigarettes.
My honey got them for me.
I didn't think they still made them.
What is Keith going to say about that?
He did. He's not going to fight because he knows. He knows the way to my heart.
I thought you meant Sheriff Lamb got him.
Oh.
Oh my God. Oh. If Sheriff Lamb showed up here with candy cigarettes, me and Keith might have to have a conversation.
Possibly.
I don't know. His wife's pretty cute, honey. We can just trade.
Oh, that's funny.
And then I'd probably want to shoot him, so then we trade back.
It is Friday, June 10th.
Yes, it is.
And so Keith, as you can tell, Keith is in the control room.
He's
and
been
why
naughty,
is Keith
so we
in the
locked him
control
up.
room? Keith, I'll let you do the introduction.
Because we have
friends.
special guests tonight, Andrea and Arthur with Heavy Metal Beer Club.
Cheers.
Welcome.
And of course, what did they bring when they came?
Lots of booze.
Why are you on delay?
Yeah.
Who?
You.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, your camera's behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are way on delay.
Yeah, probably.
Which,
Which is okay in some instances.
It's par for the course.
As long as we're getting the sound first.
Yeah, then we're okay.
Yeah, do we
We
have?
just won't look at you.
Right.
We can hear him.
Let's hear
Just
the
don't watch
sound.
his mouth, because then you're like, what?
It'll mess us up.
Should probably make sure. Do we have sound? Does everybody hear us tonight?
It's like we're watching Godzilla or something. You see the mouth move separately.
Nobody's complained yet, so I'm thinking we're good. But also,
Yeah.
nobody said hi after I said hello, y'all. So
That's
maybe
true.
we got kicked off already.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
No, we're still green check marks.
And I didn't even
Wait,
say
we'll go.
anything yet.
I know. I'm like, if I ain't got kicked off, yeah.
Just wait. It's still early.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
It's
see.
early enough.
Come on, Dan. Let us know if we're on.
Can anybody hear us? Hello? Is this thing on?
Is Dad even on yet? I didn't see him.
Crickets.
Yeah.
All right. Christine can hear us. Erica can
Okay.
hear us.
All right.
We're good.
Wow.
We're golden.
You
Okay,
guys-
he's not
so
delayed
Eric-
on his end, so that's fine. It's just us. It's just our TV.
Okay.
We've
All
done
right.
that before.
That's funny.
Well, and
I'm gonna have
StreamYard,
Instagram.
StreamYard actually shows different too. So that's odd. Or YouTube. Actually, I'm on YouTube and it's showing Keith is delayed.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
T-shirt. Look at this.
I could just pull myself out of the picture and you guys can. do
No.
No, we
No,
wanted to
that's
see
all right.
your face.
Hey,
You got to be on.
We have to see
Yeah.
that sexy alien behind you.
Well, we weren't. Oh, okay. We weren't going to go
it.
there.
You can't even see his face.
No, you can just see his body.
I'll have to bring him out later.
That's okay. Hey.
How
You
much
could just
later?
see his body. You know what though? And
That's
it's
not
funny
for
'cause,
everybody.
yeah, during quarantine, people wearing the masks. Did you notice people just looked more attractive with the mask?
Oh,
on?
yeah. I'm like, how
Everybody
many,
did.
It's
how many
true.
like relationships were ruined because of that? Because they were like, oh, super cute in the bar, and you wake up in the morning, you're like,
What happened? Yeah, my son was telling me how a lot of his friends, his less attractive friends, were getting lots of dates during
yeah,
quarantine.
because especially if you got good eyes,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like,
And then once you take that mask off,
and
it's
they're like,
all over.
oh,
that's
you're
it.
fugly.
Done.
Maybe that's why whiskey sales went up during COVID.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, this is what I brought.
Put the
home.
mask back on.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Couple of shots, everything. Beer glasses, whiskey glasses.
Ooh, he
instead.
said shot. So
Ooh,
I'll
shot.
take-
See, every
we
time
got
he
sip
says
to
it,
that.
we gotta,
Yeah.
you know.
Shot.
But see, I'm not. I
Go
don't
for
know.
it.
All right, so what are we drinking, Arthur? Let everybody know.
Oh yeah. What are we
Oh
drinking?
yeah, we have Del Bach, and this is the classic whiskey made in Tucson, Arizona,
Mhm.
and it's just fantastic.
And we have a ringing endorsement right there.
Except for
That
when it
is
goes
a
through her
ringing.
nose.
Delbach, hey, Delbach, you can send the endorsement money right here to CTC.
There you go.
And I think you just went down the wrong pipe because this is smooth
Stop
to
trying
me.
to
And you're like, of all time,
Of all time.
this
Yeah.
happens,
Hey,
right?
you know, Wendy and I
Oh
always
my
say,
God.
Wendy and I always say, we have a saying, you know, we heard it once somewhere else, and so we can't claim it, but you know, here we are on the top of the food chain, and sometimes we just swallow on our own spit.
Seriously, or trip while you're walking.
Yeah.
How
And me
does
and
that
Wendy,
happen?
Show it?
me and Wendy are
Move it
not
over.
drinking that.
You didn't even try the Delbeck, the regular.
No.
Oh, you're crazy.
Oh, that is good.
It's really good.
It is.
But you
really
guys
good.
have that.
Did you see Andrea's? No, I'm good. It's a hard pass.
But you guys have that white Del Bach that you didn't like, and so
No,
that's why I was
you
like, I'll
thought
trade
that
you
was
guys.
crazy.
I brought you.
Oh, there you go.
I liked
Yeah, you
it.
can take that home.
Yeah, and I'll leave this.
That's so
I'll leave this for you guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
That's a
we
good
are
trade.
drinking the bourbon cream
The
that I
good,
found in the back of the fridge.
Ooh,
Good stuff.
it's good stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's not the Buffalo Trace, but it does pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good second.
So we have a busy show tonight,
What if I
guys.
put-
So thanks to Lindsay, we have. What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you dipping your candy cigarette in the whiskey?
She was.
And you are judging
Maybe.
for that?
That's an endorsement right there.
You're
Maybe.
judging
Yeah.
that?
I'm
You
judging.
know, if you had an Oreo, just think.
Right?
Ooh.
Oh, guess what we're doing
Yeah.
next week?
We do have Rice Krispie treats.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
Andrew,
you
you
go.
made some.
That's my
Nom, nom,
favorite,
nom, nom.
Rice Krispie
too.
treats.
Me too.
They're downstairs.
They're
I
nice.
have
cut
sound
nice big
effects.
pieces.
We have sound effects.
Oh,
Christina,
yeah.
That's what
fun.
we're missing out here.
That works.
So how many memes did I send you this week?
You sent me 60, but
58.
I did not put up
I didn't
60
get to
of them,
20 on
so.
the third one. It was 58.
so
It's been 3 weeks, y'all.
Are you telling us that it actually stops at 20 pictures?
It does. The iPhone stops at 20 pictures. Just
I haven't.
public information.
Let's roll through.
I have no idea which ones I put up, so we'll just go through them.
Oh, I see some good ones.
I did like this one though.
All right, read it. Keith.
A wolf attacks a sheep, killing it. Other sheep see that the sheep was killed by teeth. Teeth are dangerous. All the sheep agree to remove their teeth and turn them in. The wolf still has teeth.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
How gun control
That's
works.
about it.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty good.
Remove their.
Oh,
teeth.
yeah.
I have no problem with vigorous background checks on firearms. While we're at it, let's do the same for immigration and voter ID.
There you
Amen.
go.
Amen.
I would agree.
By the way, I do want to thank the overwhelming response we got on last week's episode.
It was really good.
Really, that episode's kicking ass, and keep sharing it out there because I think the word needs to get out there about it. So
I'm glad I didn't make myself an ass.
that's true. No matter how you feel about guns, you should educate yourself with the historical truths of disarmed populations. 100%.
Right?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, I have to go to a comment in between that. So Christine says bourbon cream yum, and she says pineapple and mango with your bourbon cream.
Oh yeah.
Sounds
Ooh.
Wow, Christine.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just took it up
Pineapple
a
and mango
whole-
with a slight cocoa flavor. I'm a little curious about that.
That would be amazing.
That does sound
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I have to
Okay.
be convinced.
good.
It's okay. I
Well,
think
gotta,
you can taste ours.
You got to try it to be convinced. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
Will says
I think
truth by that. By the
John
way.
has to be convinced. of
Yeah, I have to be convinced.
Stocks are crashing, shelves are empty, and violence is at an all-time high. I should give up my guns.
You know, I almost
Said
said
no
that
one.
I
That
almost
was
said
yeah.
That was Seymour's thought of the day. Didn't you see him right there dressed up reading his newspaper?
Said no one. This is funny. We got engaged because I got him pregnant.
Oh my God.
Wendy almost spit out her drink.
And it's
You guys missed
AOC.
that.
That's awesome.
You
That is.
missed that. Wendy almost spit out her drink. It was close.
Shout out to whoever did that.
Woohoo!
And this is totally one of our barbecues.
You can buy that on Amazon. I looked it up.
Oh,
it's
that's
great.
it's $9.99 for two. There's a red one and a yellow one. So the red
Oh,
one
that's
is red with a
awesome.
yellow nozzle, and you put the mustard thing inside of it, and you squeeze, and
Wedding
it
gift.
squeezes it out. Yeah.
Wedding gift.
And the other one is yellow with a red nozzle for the ketchup.
How far does it
I
shoot?
like that.
Yeah.
How far do you
can't
want it to
shoot
shoot?
somebody.
Oh, I was just thinking it'd be a great river gun.
Ah!
Right?
Ketchup and mustard,
Ketchup and
Oh
mustard.
my
along with
God.
the
We'll
marshmallows.
get back to the marshmallows. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. I saw this meme and I was going to put it on there anyway. So this is a good one. Everyone got out of the schools. Now they wonder why the devil keeps showing up.
Right?
100%. It's a good one.
I like this.
This is good too. Because when the shit hits the fan, no one looks for a liberal.
Right?
Nope.
Very true. Legal gun owners have 300 million guns and probably have 1 trillion rounds of ammo. If we were the problem, you would know it.
Yeah. Amen.
There's a lot of
a
truth to
long
that.
time ago.
Yeah,
There
very
is.
true.
Really.
Yeah. Look at how many guns.
I figured
Seymour
this was
has.
appropriate for this
Oh.
group.
I didn't get that one. Did I send you that one? I
No,
didn't
that
send
was
you that one.
that was mine.
There's
I
one
love
that's
that.
not Lindsay's.
That's great.
And he's got the candy cigarette.
I know, and he's got a cigarette. How do I get one of those cups?
Right. And this is also mine. Imagine a Chick-fil-A on a normal business day and how smoothly the operation is run. And one
Oh my
day,
God.
some people think it's not running well and decide to make a change, hiring a McDonald's manager to come over to run like a McDonald's. This is what happened to our country,
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
right?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Wow.
This one was mine also. I thought was funny. No monkeypox for me. I'm on the patch.
Oh my God, that's so
Oh,
funny.
see, honey, we got to go get some Chiquita
Chiquitas.
bananas before I go back to Seattle next week.
Before you see them get the
I'm
monkeypox.
wearing that all over Seattle.
Just
What
put
do you-
it on your face.
What are you living in Seattle now?
Oh,
Pretty much.
feels like
Pretty
it.
much.
Ugh. Do you feel that from out here?
Yes.
This is Brian sent this today, and I laughed. I had to put it up here. $5 for gas, $6 for diesel. Someone needs to tell Pride Month to chill. Not all of us like getting fucked in the ass.
Oh my God.
And we're off YouTube.
Yep. Hold on. I'm switching to
Wasn't
Rumble.
even-
Switch to Rumble.
wasn't
Switching to
even
Rumble.
me.
Oh, come on. It was funny.
That
It was
was funny.
hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Hey, do you want
Oh.
up one,
Yeah.
up one, up one?
Oh, sorry.
Don't
Yep.
you forget that
I
one.
found, hold
Ooh.
on before you read that. I found that so everybody knows who Larry Elder is, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Larry Elder. I just accidentally, so begrudgingly, I am back on Facebook, and it's not to
Going
sit
well.
there, not sit there and just peruse, but
Yeah.
I have to go on there for a couple different things. And so I started following Larry Elder, I guess, some time ago. And so it popped up. And so I started looking it up, and he is funny. He has got a lot of really funny.
Oh,
And then he has
yeah.
to literally put at the bottom, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, this is a joke. Because they are some
Got-
funny stuff.
Gotta
Oh
put
my
disclaimers
God.
on
So you
everything
don't
now.
get the fact check.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
This is a joke.
1978, Jim Jones uses to kill 909 people. Sick and violent people don't need a gun.
Right?
Exactly.
Well, that's
Yeah,
kind of goes back to
true.
what you and
They
I
can
were
use a
trading a
car.
bunch of texts last
Mhm.
week.
Yeah, it was the
About-
lady that drove the car down Vegas Strip on the one side.
Well,
Yeah.
also
Well, I mean,
that
they're- well,
the Christmas incident during the holiday season.
the Christmas
Oh, yeah.
incident. And
Wasn't that in
parade?
Michigan? Yeah.
Yeah, the parade.
you
Yeah.
know, Keith and I were
We're gonna
trading
make
a bunch
that
of texts
illegal?
last
Telling
week
everybody,
about the Oklahoma bombing and the
Mhm.
fact
Right.
that so there were 15 kids in the daycare, and there was a total of 80 something total casualties in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Plus hundreds and hundreds of
Injuries.
Wounded.
Yeah.
Injuries.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and that was fertilizer in a rental truck.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Ammo.
Fertilizer. And
Well, look at
diesel.
the Boston
Yeah,
bomber. That
oil.
was what? Pipes,
Pipe
fertilizer, and
bombs,
nails.
Yep.
And pressure cookers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got
Everything
it.
I can get at Walmart.
I got it. I've solved it right now. We're just going to make killing people illegal.
That's
Oh,
a brilliant
You want to know
idea.
what? That was great. I was
How's-
just going to
you
go
like that?
for the other way and
Yeah.
make it legal.
You know, so this is a funny thing.
So we're on
this
the other
is,
sides of the fences there,
Yeah.
sir.
so there was an article that I read a few years ago because I'd keep up with a lot of the Mexican news, and so Mexico made it illegal to kill journalists. Oh, problem solved.
Problem solved.
It has totally worked since then.
Right there,
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
Well, just like
Did
I mean,
they make it
didn't,
illegal to kill all the white people too that were on
Well,
the boats that they were killing?
But,
Or is
well,
that
and-
okay?
and like we touched on last week,
Yeah.
AKs are illegal in Mexico also.
Oh yeah,
What
I
does
mean
the
guns in
cartel
general,
have?
just 20.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean you can only get a 22, and there's just one. There's one gun store in Mexico, and it goes through the government. You can't
Yeah.
even sell privately to another person.
No.
That's illegal.
obviously working very well.
Oh
Working
yeah,
very well.
but
there
so
not any violence in Mexico.
oh okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so, a lot of the guns are well, this is an article I read many years ago in Mexico when they were they're always having the problems. But so they would seize a bunch of guns,
Mhm.
right? And they would end up in a warehouse. those same guns would then end up back out again.
It's amazing.
Wonder how that
Kinda-
happened.
Right?
Oh yeah, I
Right?
bet they call that Fast and
Dirty.
Furious, don't they?
Well, no, that's something entirely
God.
different.
I
there.
know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it is.
Yeah, that's another animal. Yeah.
But I mean, the Mexican government, it's no, how do I put it? Everyone knows there's so much corruption.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, we have corruption too. I think every
You're gonna get that.
Yeah.
There's bad
It's
people
different
everywhere,
over there.
No matter
Oh
what.
yeah, there it's on another level. It's just all about money there, and then
Right.
also
Right,
a lot of those
payoffs.
guns, because they'll blame the U.S. Well, you're all the guns from the U.S. are coming into Mexico, but El Salvador, they got guns coming in from El Salvador, from Guatemala, it's all over the place.
But
They're
like,
going to
if all
get
you can
guns.
buy is a 22, of course you're getting them from us. Where do you
Yeah.
think they're coming from?
Yeah, and also they raided gun manufacturing, like a machine shop there at one
Yeah.
point.
Well,
And so,
and
this
there's no
stuff-
secret that the AK is the most prolific gun in the world, and it is so easily manufactured. It's stamped parts.
Oh,
These are not
yeah.
even machined parts.
No, you
Yeah,
literally
like
yeah,
stamp
most
them.
like most U.S. guns are machined parts, and they have to be machined to a
One
certain
big metal
tolerance.
piece. Yeah.
AKs are pretty.
No.
I mean, AKs are
Yeah.
pretty sloppy guns,
Yeah.
and they are stamped parts, but they're
They
dump
work.
trucks. They work.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
work. And those things, I mean, you can just fire them and fire them and fire them, and they get dirty, and it doesn't matter. They work.
Yeah, they work.
wow.
Yeah. Where the AR is a little bit more touchy. You got to make sure it's pretty clean, but it is accurate. That's for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
Here's our last couple of memes, and we'll get into some more information.
Right.
I agree with this 100%.
I saw this one last week. This is a good
Oh my
one.
gosh.
Yeah. It's true. I thought this was good.
It's just overkill. Does the man really need 2 bikes?
I mean, who really needs 2 bikes?
Just-
Thought that was appropriate.
That's not too far off from our garage.
No.
Nice.
You have 2 bikes?
I
Actually,
know.
we
There is
do.
two people. There
We
is
do.
2
We
people.
do.
Yeah, we do have 2 bags
That's
hanging up, and then
funny.
And
some
2 bikes.
ammo cans lined up.
Yeah, it's okay.
You must be rich
You got 2 bikes.
Why? Because they have full
Wow.
tanks of gas?
because you got 2 bikes. 2 bikes.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
Arthur, one of the reasons I really wanted to have you on the show tonight was because of your experiences as a Border Patrol agent. But I want you to kind of give people just a little bit of your background.
Yeah. Well, I was in the Border Patrol for 20 years and some change. I went a little bit beyond, and I was going to stay towards the end of the year of 2020. I went in 2000, and then I was going to retire at the end of 2020. And I just decided, once the whole pandemic hit and there were policies changing, everything just got crazy from day and night. This is what we're going to do. This is procedure. And I just thought, well, you know what? I think Halloween is one of our favorite holidays. That would be a good time for me to lay down my papers. And so I retired. But I worked all around Tucson sector. I worked quite a few stations all over the place. I used to do a lot of briefings. I'd travel around doing briefings. And so I don't have stats anymore, but I was privy to a lot of stats, and I used to brief our chief on what was going on weekly. And, we were the busiest sector at one time. And, now I see the numbers on the news, and it's just crazy. And I never thought that, like Tucson sector would get below 200 people a day. And we got to that point about 10 years ago. And then the numbers slowly started trickling up again. But when I first got in, I was in Douglas, which was the busiest station, and we were getting 1,000 people a day. Now, granted, when I say 1,000 people a day, we have what's called recidivism. And so you'd bring people in and you would photograph them. You'd roll just their index fingers. And then if they didn't have any sort of criminal history at that time, then you would release them back into Mexico. You just drive them to the port, and then you'd see them again jumping the fence later on. So, we had that. Well, then the database system got hooked up a little bit better, and they were doing better records checks. And I mean, I won't go into law enforcement sensitive stuff. The Dell box kicking in, so I may slur
Keith's
here
got
and
his,
there.
Don't worry, Keith's got his finger on the
talking
button.
and cursing.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
So, but then we started rolling all fingerprints, and so then that's when we started seeing a lot of
A little
people
more
with
things pop up.
with criminal histories. And then they implemented consequence delivery system. So we were charging people with illegal entry. There's immigration charges, which are administrative, and then there's criminal charges also for coming in illegally.
Okay.
And so, we would start charging people criminally when we were catching those certain things. And it just got a lot more sophisticated. And that's when you started seeing the numbers declining and going
once
down.
they realize they're going to get in trouble for it.
Yeah, they would spend some time. They would do a little time in jail. And, so it was, and back then, I mean, you weren't really having people run. They weren't fighting with you, giving you a bad time. You'd keep your officer presence.
Yeah.
But then, once you got everybody controlled and on the ground, their hands, I mean, you would talk to them. I mean, a lot of them were real
Just
nice.
workers
They would,
or,
exactly. They would yuck it up with you. I mean, and you remember all kinds of things. I arrested a guy that was a former police officer. And so we talked. This one guy was a clown. And and it was funny because his hair was all crazy and these big pants on. And he's doing, he asked, can I reach in my pockets? And I said, okay, let me check first. Okay. He had balloons. And the guy was balloons. He made balloons for me to take home to my children. Yeah. And at that time, it was mainly Mexicans that we were getting, not Central Americans or from other countries. Then you started to see that shift. And that's when the numbers started declining. And you saw the shift, and you started seeing more from El Salvador, from Honduras, from Guatemala. And a lot of them, that's when we started seeing the running and the fighting and a little, a lot more problems. But we catch people from all over the world, though. I mean, it's not just our hemisphere. I mean,
and they just know that if you can get to Mexico, by whatever means, come in through Costa Rica and then just get your way to Mexico.
Yeah.
Once you get there, it's
You're good.
The cartels will just get you in. If you have the money.
Well, there's separate things. There's alien smuggling organizations, and then there's the drug smuggling organizations. And so at one time, the drug smuggling organizations, they had the most control because of the whole marijuana thing. I mean, that was their bread and butter.
Oh yeah, they had that.
They were making a lot of money off of that. And so they would have areas which they would call plazas. And so then and at one point, the alien smuggling organizations and these drug smuggling organizations, I mean, they would fight over certain areas, but then the drug smuggling organization had more money.
Yeah.
So then they started making deals. So the alien smuggling organizations would start paying what's called a plaza fee. So they would pay them to be able to operate kind of like a franchise in their area. And they would even, in certain instances, they would give them bracelets. This particular organization is smuggling you. They would have passwords.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they would be given 3 chances. So if we didn't, because we would have different systems in place. So if we apprehended somebody, and then when we returned them to Mexico, if we took them back to exactly like, say, somebody crossing near Nogales, when we put them back in Nogales, well, then they could reconnect.
Try again.
Yeah, with that alien smuggling organization. And they would get 3 tries, and then they were out of luck with their money because it would pay the fees lots of times ahead of time. Yeah. So I hope I'm not rambling.
No. But we will have.
It's a lot of good information.
You have questions. Yeah.
So I do have actually some, and I'm as you're talking, I do have some facts and figures in the news center at the end. I saved it all to the end.
Andrea,
Sorry, I
fired.
Boy, if we were in court right now, you'd be getting escorted out. But I realize now that there's some that I wish I'd put in there, because I know I just heard it today that the drug cartels made somewhere in the neighborhood of like $44 billion in the last whatever time frame from.
How do they find that information out? It's not. I
don't think they're really shy about saying it.
Yeah, well,
really?
and a lot of it is even an estimate. So I always found it pretty funny because you'd have some guys that work with me that would, and we'd have meetings, and the chiefs would ask them, well, how much marijuana is getting past us, and they would have a number. I mean, how can you know
that?
Exactly, right?
If you knew, then why aren't you catching it?
Exactly.
Then why do you know that it went
Yeah.
past
we
us. Like,
we only know what we're not getting. So
Yeah.
that's what worries me about these numbers of the people we're getting is there's then that number that we don't
that we
know
don't
Right.
get.
that's
Yeah.
getting
And that's-
passed.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I see that
That's a
daily
scary
where
number.
they keep estimating that we can only estimate what the gotaways are.
Yeah.
And again, they always keep emphasizing the fact that it could be this number or it could be this number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
We don't really
Are
know.
they giving
'Cause-
us the 1% to make us feel better that we got 1%? And
Yeah.
even though it was a big 1%, it's not even 99% that got
Well,
away.
because the
Like,
whole thing is, so you could go up to, let's say, a dirt trail and you see some people cross, and I count it and I say, that's about maybe 15 people. And you look at it and go, nah, that's only about 5 people.
Yeah.
I mean, who really
It's
knows
perspective.
what the
Yeah.
reality is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't
all
know.
perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in a lot of those cases also, I mean, we have them jumping. We've seen them jumping over.
Mhm.
They'll leave the blowers out there, yard blowers, to blow the dirt so you can't
Oh, that's
identify where they
crazy.
crossed. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh,
yeah,
no kidding.
yeah, they'll use brooms. They'll lay down carpet. They'll roll across
The
roads.
shoes
you
that are
name
made
it.
with carpet on the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah,
I've
they'll put
seen
the
that.
carpet
Yeah.
booties.
That's
That's what they call them, is
crazy.
carpet booties. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you name it. They're just their imagination, whatever they could possibly use
Whatever
to
works
try
to get them
get
Well,
across.
and because these cartels have had decades of figuring out how to get around things.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
come up with submarines, for God's sake.
They're
Oh
doing-
yeah,
they're doing
yeah.
just
Even
fine.
the semi-submersibles. I mean, most definitely they use those for cocaine. I mean, they even have some where they'll attach to ships, and so then they don't. The ship may not know when it's going through the water that they have something attached to it and it's dragging it along
Wow.
underneath. Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's crazy.
crazy.
There's
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. There's
Well-
a lot of crazy stuff.
Well, what I want to do is let's do some of the news of the week, because I really do want to spend some time talking about the border, especially since we have you on, bringing up different facts and stuff. So we'll go through the news of the week, and then we'll spend the rest of the show talking about the border.
All right.
You ready, John?
I am.
I'm gonna turn him on.
Turn me on.
He's turned on.
Wendy, would you like more?
Ooh, sure.
Oh,
Pass
see.
There we go.
I love
Pass
it.
on.
I love it. And then, Wendy touches my knee.
Hey.
Oh, stop. Otherwise, we're going to
Stop
have
it.
to, we're gonna,
People are
we're gonna
here.
stop
Wendy.
this show
People are
early.
here.
So, jeez.
Look, you cracked him up. You cracked
Just,
yourself up.
thought it was, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain and, lights, camera, and distractions. So it's a quick newsletter, news of the week. So in case those haven't realized, gas is literally at, as of today, $5 per gallon on the national average.
I just paid $5.68 at Costco.
That just means that national average, there are more places paying over $5 than less.
That does not
Yeah.
surprise me.
Yeah.
First time ever.
Wow.
We're gonna get to 8 by the time summer hits.
But on the other hand, Biden is slamming
Oh,
Putin for inflation, which is now running at a 41-year high.
Damn
We
you,
set new
Putin.
records weekly.
These are not the records I really want to see set.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm good
I'm
not
just
setting
saying.
these. I'm good not setting these.
I don't like these records.
So airfares, in case if you haven't noticed, airfares are skyrocketing 38% right now.
yeah,
I mean, a lot of it is actually the cost of fuel.
doesn't
Mhm.
surprise me.
And you know what? I got my free drink coupons from Southwest. And I'm like,
hey,
I
we're
can't
good.
use
We're,
them
we're
because I
flying
can't afford to
Southwest to
fly.
New York. It's only gonna cost us $1,000.
oh, that's crazy.
So in case anybody missed it, there was a some kind of primetime show yesterday. I guess even the president didn't watch it. So
He was eating his ice
he
cream.
said today that he did not watch it. Ironically, he said he was busy. I'm like,
Yeah.
right.
Doing
It was
what?
after your bedtime. But obviously, polls a new record low.
22%, right?
It depends on which one you talk to. I mean, there's a 22, there's a 29, there's a 33 or 32, something like that. Red
33
Hot.
must be from CNN.
So the House
Right.
passes a
Yeah.
red flag gun control bill. Obviously, it's going to get stalled in the Senate unless they can find 10 senators. The scary part is the fact that there were 5 Republican House members that actually voted for it.
Wow.
Seriously.
Yes.
Wow.
2 Democrats voted against it. 5 Republicans voted for it.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you see this? Joan Behar made this stupid comment
She gonna
yesterday.
stop sleeping with people?
Oh my God. She said gun
Again?
laws will change once black people get guns in this country.
What?
She really said that?
She really said that.
Oh my god.
And so
Apparently, she must live under a rock.
well, she
Yeah.
lives in Hollywood, so she has, the same thing. The Washington
my
Commanders
God.
coach was fined $100,000 for saying that the January 6th, if you want to call it insurrection, there was an insurrection with, protesting, was a dust up, and he got actually fined $100,000.
What does that mean?
Really?
A dust up.
It wasn't an insurrection.
Oh, who fined him?
His owner.
No kidding.
I'd have told him suck a wiener,
Wow.
fire me.
Yeah.
So I can't be around people.
So did you see that Biden tripped up the stairs accidentally?
Again?
yesterday?
Again.
Yeah. So he did.
Yeah,
that.
I
Oh
didn't
my
see
god.
that.
This
Oh
poor
my
guy. Why
God.
did they let him walk up those stairs?
It's an
Get him
interesting
an
because
escalator.
and the only reason I put this in here, you got to wonder, is he purposely raising gas prices or wanting gas prices to raise? I mean, obviously he doesn't have direct control, but is he doing it to push his green agenda?
Oh,
That's all you keep
absolutely.
hearing about is
Absolutely.
we will, don't worry about gas prices, get an electric car.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about gas prices, get
Go.
solar for your home.
Yep. We have solar for our home.
I know.
That
So you
has
shouldn't.
nothing to
So
do with
obviously
my
you shouldn't
six-
be worrying about
I'm
gas
worried
prices,
it
right?
gives me $50 to fill up my car.
Mortgage rates jump, applications drop, home prices could come down.
Woohoo.
Of course they are.
That's the first part of it.
So you saw that a man was arrested near the home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. And
I saw that.
he was planning. He had
He was planning to kill him.
Duct tape.
So
he
he
had a
obviously
pistol, a
didn't do
couple,
a very good
couple
job.
magazines. He had duct tape, zip ties, and Kavanaugh's family was there.
Jeez.
So I
It's
mean,
frightening.
he obviously
It is
was
so
not.
wrong.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, he was not
absolutely
planning
insane.
on just entering the home and shooting somebody. He
Nope.
was planning to enter the
Other
home
stuff
and torture
tape
somebody.
and
Right.
So, it could have been a really horrible thing. A former
guns
U.S.
are the problem.
congressman pleads guilty to election fraud,
Imagine that.
stuffing ballot
Crazy.
boxes. 3 injured in Maryland through a mall shooting. Looks like a gang activity type thing. Thought this was interesting. Texas police have changed their story on the Uvalde shooting on number 13 exact times. So
Wow.
they need to actually figure
Do
out
some
what went
research
on.
and see what happened.
So
They're just making themselves look worse and
Worse.
worse each time that they change a story
Yeah.
instead
Well-
of saying, you know what, we need to.
Yeah. We need some time to investigate and then we'll make a statement.
There you go.
Exactly.
exactly.
There you
Yeah.
go,
But
John.
the problem with that is the press is so hungry. We want something now. We want to hear something
Well,
right
of course,
now.
and they got to make something
And
up
that's
instead of just
Yeah.
saying, "I
when they
don't
don't have
know." I'll
everything
get
all
back to
together
you.
yet. Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong
Why
with,
do you
with
feel
saying
obligated
let's
to make up some
let's just sit
bullshit
back
for
a little
that?
bit and do an
Right.
investigation.
Right.
Let me
Dan.
look. I don't know. I
Yeah.
wasn't
Once
here.
we're done, then
Sort
we'll
it
give you
out.
the story,
I'll
let you
but
know.
we don't want to put misinformation
Right.
out.
Yeah.
Dan is giving me a hard time.
Is he?
Yes. So Dan says, once again, I have managed to cheer him up. So
Again,
Sorry,
Wendy's gonna
Dan.
spit out her drink.
I was told that I was told that I needed to keep the news short. These are the things. These are the
The short things he
subject.
picks.
They are the subjects that are the most important right now. Again, it started off with the economy because,
It's in
as
the
James
shitter.
Carvell said, it's the economy, stupid. It's a little bit about politics, a little bit about social, a little bit about
Sports, something
crime
interesting,
and
yeah.
business, and then we get to the immigration. And so,
Which is why
You know what? Maybe you need to
have our
take some news
guests.
articles
Arthur.
from
Arthur, I was
2019
like, oh my god.
and that's your news.
what was that, Wendy?
Maybe
Lord help
if you go back to 2019 with some articles,
I know, right?
That's what I'm gonna do. So I should have actually for Dan, we should have a throwback to 2019.
Right.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pre-Rona.
everything's good.
So
Stock
All right,
market's
so-
awesome.
Under
Really
the
happy
under the
about that.
category immigration and southern border, and it really, it started getting to the point where I couldn't stop, and all these articles kept popping up because some of the news sources that I go to, they have links to go to other news sources
Yeah.
and go to. And
Then
so
you
all
get
of a sudden-
sucked in.
And
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
yeah.
I felt like I was in a Wikipedia thing where you just keep going to, let's find out more
Well,
about
what
that.
does this say?
Wait, I
Oh.
want to find out more about that. So
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
obviously, so there was a 234,000 immigrants, record high for April.
Jeez.
Wow.
234,000
Thousand.
people.
That's for April, and I
For
know
a
that
month.
I know that May surpassed that.
Jeez.
But I couldn't
Yeah.
I couldn't quickly because unfortunately I was out of town this week, and so I was doing this late today. So I didn't
And you got
exactly
stuck in the rabbit hole.
I didn't have a lot of time to find where the May numbers were, and obviously it's still in June, so we don't have the June numbers. But NBC announced that there was another plan, where Biden plans to send immigrants or migrants, they put in here because it was NBC, deeper into the U.S.
Oh,
Arthur,
So-
you know what those numbers were
I'm like,
beforehand.
didn't Texas do that
Yeah.
already?
This
And
is
they sent them back?
insane.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean this is
The numbers
insane.
got so
Now,
low. at a
and the
point.
thing though, I mean, and I've been out for a couple of years now, so that as far as sending people in with, we still have Title 42 implemented, because with Title 42, you can send them back in, with the exception
If they have
of
criminal- yeah.
unaccompanied juveniles. You could
Yeah.
you could send them
Back
back
to
to Mexico. Yeah, and it didn't matter where they were from. So I was interviewing this lady from El Salvador. This is a couple months before I retired, and she said, "Oh, we want to claim asylum." And I said, "Yeah, no, not today." And she said, "Oh, well, and I explained to her what was going on, and she said, "Okay, well, then I want to go back home." And I said, "Yeah, no, not today either." And and she goes, "Well, where are you taking me?" And I said, "Mexico." And she said, "Well, I'm from El Salvador." And I said, "Where'd you come in
That's
from?"
your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd you come in from? Mexico. And I said, "You're going back to Mexico."
You're going
Yeah.
back.
But I mean, because generally, when it's not under the Title 42 rules, we will then send them back to their country
Yeah.
of origin.
So now, have you heard this? Because I heard this yesterday and I've drawn a blank as to who, because some of the news sources I listen to and such, they do a lot of interviews with politicians. So these are representatives and senators, not just from, say, Arizona and Texas, but they're, Ohio and Pennsylvania
Yeah.
and wherever, going down and looking for themselves. And they're saying that sometimes, or most of the times, the people that are getting stopped at the border now, they're sat in front of, they're sit down in a room and watch a video on, I don't know, you know what you want to call it, but basically those that understand enough figure out what the key words to say to get asylum are. I mean,
Yeah.
is that possible?
Yeah, well, they're coached beforehand, and you're talking about while they're on the south side before they come over.
I didn't catch that that's what they said, but I just
Yeah.
know that they're saying that this is with CPD
Yeah,
is like letting them watch these videos.
yeah. With CBP, that I don't know. I don't know if maybe that's a new thing.
And I know that the officers on the line
Yeah.
are frustrated. And
Yeah.
there's been all the reports about them and
Yeah,
and complaining to Mayorkas that you don't have our back and you guys are
Yeah.
not doing anything for us and you left us out here to dry. And then the whole thing about the whipping incident
Oh,
and never
yeah.
got an official apology from the White House or
Yeah.
the State Department about that or the DOJ.
Yeah, that I don't know exactly, but I know that the smugglers will coach them beforehand on the things to say. And so it used to be the other than Mexicans is what we'd call them, ODMs, from Central America, South America, or wherever. So we would send them back to their country of origin.
Mhm.
So if they claimed that they were Mexican and we had no sort of proof, we didn't actually. What we do is, we'd break them. We'd take them back to Mexico. And so we would ask them certain questions, like who were the last two presidents in Mexico?
Yeah.
You would ask them like certain terminology that is, from certain
Specific, yeah.
areas. And they would, it was really funny because this one guy one time we said, no, you're from Guatemala. And he goes, no. And so we look at the back of his shirt and it said made in Guatemala. Oh, you got me. I could have said
that was
anything.
it.
Yeah, he was like,
You could have been
"Oh,
like, my aunt sent
Yeah.
it to me. What are you talking about?
yeah, you got me."
Excellent.
But they would coach them. Then the smuggling organizations would coach them. Oh, these are the questions that you will probably be asked,
Yeah.
and we'd start finding cheat sheets on them.
Yeah.
Oh,
On certain
wow.
questions we would ask. So they get coached beforehand on when they come over. And it was really just I mean, I said that a long time ago, because so it'd be Central Americans. We'd get a lot of Romanians. Well, first it was, I would see Romanians and East Indians that would claim asylum.
Okay.
And their reasoning would just be out there. Just all sorts of things like, my wife's family didn't like me, and so they threatened to kill me, and so I'm coming to the US. Well, where's your wife? Did you
You
left
just
your
leave
wife?
her there? Like,
Yeah. And so, and you know, if they ask to see an asylum officer or an immigration judge, by law, they have to be allowed to, unfortunately. Under Title 42, again, though, I mean, that changed up a lot of things. But under regular circumstances, under what was called Title 8, we would then have to set them up for an immigration hearing. And, you know, and most of the time, I mean, you know, it'd be, they're so backed up, the immigration judges, immigration court,
it's going to take
3 years. And I mean, by that time, they've got businesses established.
they
They've
bought a
already
house,
children, you know, they've had children, and, you know, they're, you know, they have they're rooted into the US, or else they don't even show up. You know, they won't show up in a majority. I mean, I know it kept going down the number. At one point when I checked, it was like 7% were showing up for their immigration hearings.
Wow.
Well, why would you 3 years later?
Wow.
Yeah.
What are
So-
they going to do for you 3 years later?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they're never going to find you.
Yeah, exactly. You just disappear. And, you know, you and I use somebody else's social security number.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
But when you run records checks on a lot of the people that get in trouble that are here illegally, you'll see multiple social security numbers and birth dates that are tied to them.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you feel about some of the other reports that you hear where they're, you know, if they get the, you know, they say the right words,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, and I love the fact, you know, Lindsay and Andrea are just over there drinking.
We're just having a good old time.
Clue
By
us
the
in
way,
if we got to
yeah.
join.
The,
So-
We're good.
the wine is really good, by the way.
It is. It's gone now.
And-
Sorry.
And
And-
so the people that are crossing the border, they get coached to say the right words, and they get
Yeah.
the right words, and they're basically handed, you know, and
Like
in
a
my
free
head, I'm
ticket.
picturing they got a bin of phones over here, and they just go, here you go, check in periodically, and your court date is 2024.
2026.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know,
Yeah.
and good luck. Let us know when you know, and so come back
Let
in
us know when
December
you
of
murder 8
2024.
people.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why
that's insane.
the Remain in Mexico program is a good thing. You put them back into Mexico so they can wait
Yeah.
for their
Yeah.
immigration
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
does make
Yeah.
sense.
it
why
truly
would you
makes
wait in
sense.
the country that
Yeah.
you're breaking into?
Yeah, because Mexico is just allowing them to
Yes.
go through. So immigration in Mexico, what they do is they don't detain you, but they give you a permit. Well, it's like a it's like a self-deport thing. You know, they issue you, and I knew the exact term, but again, Del Bach. And but
We've
Keep
only
your-
had
so
some drinks
Keep
prior to
your
this.
finger on the button.
yeah, so they would be apprehended. And
We're at an undisclosed location. It's
Yeah.
fine.
but you know, and so they would be given a certain time to deport themselves, but it doesn't matter if they deport north or south.
So now I got a question,
Okay.
and you may not know the answer,
Okay.
but does Mexico? I mean, the reports are that Mexico has a wall on the southern border. Is that true or not? Do
No,
you know?
no, but they do have immigration.
Okay.
Yeah, they have immigration, and they also have a group called Grupo Beta, which is they're sort of an immigration. They patrol they're along the border, looking for people who are in distress as well. But I mean, we've seen things where they will give them rides to certain areas and kind of even help them at certain times. I mean, for the money, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I mean,
They don't care.
Yeah, they
As long
don't
as
they
they
don't
get
care
paid.
at all. Yeah, I mean, they're not supposed to be armed either. But yet, I've been talking. You know, I'd be up at the wall. Well, not
Those
the, at the wall was next
AK-47s,
to the wall
you know,
was the
they're not
fence.
supposed to have.
Talking to them, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, look what I got." And, you know, they would show you that they were armed and what they had.
That's back when it was a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean,
you
a
know,
lot of them.
and
You
now
know,
you got these caravans that are showing up.
oh,
I mean,
that's just that's
you know, of
absolutely
thousands.
crazy. Yeah, the caravans are crazy. But there again, though, when they had marijuana flowing into the country, the cartels, they didn't want certain routes to be disrupted,
Yeah.
and they would block
They would
Certainly.
move people
So
off,
some
yeah.
of those cartel, I mean, some of the when that whole thing was going on, when they were coming, the first time we started hearing about caravans,
Mhm.
gosh, I don't know, what was that, like 2018, 2017, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And they all got diverted to Tijuana. So it was the cartels were saying, yeah,
need
no,
to stay
not
away from our
yeah,
routes,
not in
yeah.
our area. You just, you got to
Keep it
continue
moving.
because you're messing up our drug business. But
But now
now
the cartels seem to be bought into it because they see where they can make a profit.
yeah. I mean, they're making money
Well,
off
they're not
of it.
making marijuana money anymore.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, they're
but
making
now
off the
a lot
hard
of
drugs.
these,
Right.
a lot of these people are mules,
Yeah, but
and so you see all this where the fentanyl is coming across a lot.
fentanyl's
yeah, so
crazy
you
across
see
there.
some of that, and it used to be though that the hard drugs, I mean, they didn't trust just regular mules
Yeah,
to
'cause
bring
that's
them
a lot
across.
of-
Yeah, the mules would then well, the people that were bringing across hard drugs, it was through the ports of entry, and they just pay, they buy the numbers because I mean, really,
You have
the
10,
ports of
10
entry.
cars going in, you're only going to get one car.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
They're not
it's
gonna stop every
commerce.
car.
They're trying to do trade really at the ports of entry. So they don't have a chance sometimes. Sometimes there's canines there. Sometimes they can refer somebody to secondary who then can run the machine,
Yeah.
to check a vehicle. I mean, there's a lot of things, deep compartments, concealment
Yeah.
compartments. I mean, they're difficult to identify.
Yeah.
You have a question there.
Yeah.
So Dan wants to know who is paying for these caravans.
Oh yeah, down. Well, you know what? It's just them coming together. I mean, as far as I know, of people that I've interviewed, of people coming up, it's not any main organization that I don't know if I say his name because then all of a sudden, boop,
Yeah.
we
Don't say his
get
name.
taken off.
But I
Yeah.
would imagine that especially for those that are willing to be mules.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna speculate that you got the $4,000 to get into the U.S. Oh, you only got $2,000. Well, okay, you're gonna have to carry this with you.
yeah, they'll cut deals, but sometimes so they do what's called plata or plátano, which means
Banana.
lead.
Oh, is that bananas? Those are good. Those
It
are
means,
plantains. Those are different.
Keep giving Andrea more.
It means lead or silver. So,
Oh, yeah.
it's like you take the money or
I kill your family.
or I kill your family or I kill you.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's blood.
So
Yeah.
now
That's not bananas.
so you were in the Tucson
Not
sector,
banana.
Yes.
and so
But it is.
is and I'm drawing a blank here. So Wen, help me out. Where was the last time we crossed Mexico? Where was it?
Nogales.
Nogales.
Okay.
So is that in the Tucson sector?
Yes. Now, and that's the whole thing. So I was on somebody else's show one time, and I wanted to do that breakdown because you see on the news they say Customs and Border Patrol, which that's not the case. In fact, the guys at the ports of entry hate when they say that, which I don't mind because we're all. Yeah, I mean, when I was wearing
All
the
the same.
green, but no, we're under Customs and Border Protection, all of us, but the green suiters, Border Patrol. They patrol between the ports of entry and the blue suiters, the
Do just the
CBP
port of
officers.
entries.
They do, they're
Just
inspectors.
the port of
They do
entries.
just the port of entry,
Okay.
and it's not really cross-pollinated. Even though Border Patrol agents, when I was at Douglas, sometimes we'd be sent to help out at the port of entry and
Yeah.
do inspections also and check people's immigration documents. Agents, I really haven't heard of them doing that in quite some time. But we are trained to do that, but we don't really do that. It's more just, you see people out in the middle of the desert,
Hey, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
yeah,
Yeah.
hey, what's
On foot.
what's up? Yeah.
And a handful of years ago. So Wen and I were out in what was that?
So it was organ pipe organ. Wait,
Organ pipe, yeah.
organ pipe. Yeah.
Over by like Ajo area.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
And I mean, within the park, there was like barrels of water that they would have scattered throughout, and
Yeah.
it was basically they expected people to come through, and it was for them to be
Mhm.
able to get water.
Yeah.
But
And
on the other hand,
that's
there
not
was-
us doing that.
But on the
Yeah.
other hand, there were these good sized billboards that
Oh,
basically warned you, do not pick up. I mean, these are for everybody that doesn't know, these are paved roads and unpaved roads.
Yeah.
And there are billboards out there that basically say, don't pick up anybody, don't approach anybody you see walking through the desert, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Because basically these are immigrants, migrants, whatever you want to call them, illegals, and they may be dangerous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and people don't realize. I mean, so we had Wendy's daughter, who is, you know, what do you want to say, a little bit on the free love side, you know.
Yeah, she's a hippie.
Yeah, so,
She just cares about
you
you.
know, live, love, and let love, and you know, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden we
We all
go
love
up
everybody.
and we go rolling up on the border, and the border literally is a split rail fence
Yeah.
Yeah.
out there. I mean, and it's like, you know, and there's nice Mexican gentleman. I mean, he's minding his own business on the other side. He had a house there, and he's just
Yeah.
doing it. And I said, hey, you know, and we're like, you know, go on over there and reach your hand over and shake his hand. And she's like, nope. And it's like, I mean, it's like he's, you know, he's fine, he's harmless. And she's like, nope. And she didn't realize that was the border.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize that in certain
Literally
parts.
In some
a
places.
chain link
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
that. This was just like a.
I mean, this was,
Yeah.
I mean, the worst thing that you would have to do with getting over that border was literally like, you know, rack yourself. That was
Oh yeah,
about it.
yeah. You can walk through. Yeah, it's just in some places it was just strands. I mean, they've put up more fencing along a bunch of those areas, so you can tell where it is. But I mean, it used to be a problem when I first got in. I mean, there would be some agents that would chase people back into Mexico, or else we would have Mexican incursions, military incursions, where they'd have Humvees in the
Really?
United States. Yeah,
Get
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah, that would happen all the time. Yeah, fully armed, and we'd have to tell, hey, you guys are.
You're on the road. You went too
Right.
far, bro. Go back.
Check your
Yeah.
coordinates. You are off the
You are
reservation.
over the-
We would just escort them back,
Yeah.
and you know that was.
But again,
that
if
was
there's
it. But it would
literally
happen.
nothing,
I mean, that's
how do you
gotta
know?
be
You've
a
been
little-
driving through the
A
desert more
little
than
hairy
once.
back in the day.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because I mean,
yeah. Because you're wondering, hey, whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa, wow.
Time
You
out,
don't know what
what's
they
going on
have.
here? Yeah, you don't know
they
what their
got
intentions are.
semi-autos. You got semi-autos. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's armed.
No, we had full auto.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. No, we had M4s that were full auto, and it's actually, I mean, if we're going to get into gun stuff at all, it's actually more accurate if you are firing semi-auto than full auto. I
Yes.
mean, full auto, it's just spraying,
You're just
praying.
all over
You're
because you have
wasting.
the
Yeah,
back
you're
room.
There's a
wasting.
reason why M4s have a 3-round group.
Yeah,
selector,
you're
right?
wasting. And we didn't have the 3-round. It was safe, semi-auto, full auto, and you're wasting
You're wasting
rounds.
bullets.
It's
Yeah,
just-
all you're doing is scaring. You're not doing it.
I mean, when you're a young agent though, out on the range, you're just like, oh, yeah. you're going at it. Yeah.
When you think you're like 19,
Hey,
20.
you are,
awesome.
Yeah,
it's not
but
fun
it's
until
not.
you get the barrel red, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then
I did it.
yeah, and the accuracy. I mean, you're not really accurate.
And you're not paying for the ammo.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
exactly.
not paying for the
yeah,
ammo.
that too. Yeah.
Take this, Uncle Sam. Right?
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I tell you what scares me is, you know, John and I were talking about this episode kind of during the week. We always discuss the episode coming up, but he sent me a chart that showed basically what Americans' concerns were on the up and coming, you know, elections, and immigration was really down on the list. And that was something I really wanted to kind of bring home tonight, because it really needs to be a concern for everybody, I think, because, you know, I think I speak for most people in the room. I'm all for legal immigration.
Yeah.
Anybody
Oh,
wants to come over
absolutely.
here and make a better life
Yeah.
for themselves, I'm for it. But there's so many dangers of just allowing anybody to come into the country. And I was kind of hoping you'd talk a little bit about that tonight, because I really want to drive that home to people that this needs to be a concern
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
people.
yeah.
But
Well,
if you look at the average Joe Schmo who watches the news every day, blah, 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 is immigration a concern to me? No. Gas prices, feeding my family, inflation is going to be.
Well, and I think when you
those
live
that-
in I'm sorry. So I think when you live in Washington State or Montana or North Dakota, you're sitting there and going, what, the Canucks are coming across the
You don't
border?
Yeah.
care, right?
What are they
They're not
going to
concerned
do?
about
They're
it.
going to go
Yeah.
back because they got free health care. You know,
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
staying.
Yeah.
And they don't think that this is, you know, like we showed earlier, that every state is a border country or
Yeah.
a border state.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
going to be
absolutely.
soon, because Arizona's going to be full. And guess where they're going? Right on up.
Yeah. So a funny thing is, so one time I had to go for a meeting up in Bellingham, there in north of Seattle. And so Heavy Metal Beer Club. So of course we're at this microbrewery. She went with me, and she flew up because I had to go to Spokane first, and then I went to Bellingham, and then she flew up and met me up there. And so we're in this brewery, and these two young Canadian ladies, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
very attractive, come up to me, and I'm paying for the beer. She had went and sat down,
Yeah.
and they said, "Oh, yeah, can you help us get some cocaine? And so I just happened to have my wallet in my hand. I was paying, and so I
showed him the badge.
yeah, I
That's
badged
so
them, and I said,
offensive.
"You really need to be careful."
And they
We
walked
asked her,
away.
and they were, yeah, she just sat there. Oh my
Big
god!
guy.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my
He
god!
told me what
over
happened.
and
I was
over again. Yeah.
Going, oh my
So there was a
God.
young Canadian kid that was sitting there sketching. He goes, "You know
Yeah.
why they asked you?" And I said,
'Cause you're
"No." Yeah.
Hispanic.
And she said, "Yeah." He said, "Because you're Hispanic." And I said, "Really?"
Isn't that
He said,
crazy?
"Yeah." I mean, had I
What?
worked, had I been working up there and not drinking
Yeah.
beer, I'd have been like, "Oh, okay, well, we have a potential source of information here. You're
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah.
We
you're
might
now
want
gonna,
to chat.
yeah,
with
you're
these
gonna now
girls.
work for me. We're gonna, we're gonna
Isn't
go
that
into this room over
disgusting?
here
That's
and talk about stuff."
crazy.
But
So
yeah,
is
it was pretty crazy.
that where they're going to
Oh,
sell
all
all their
over.
drugs?
Oh,
or
all over
what?
the place. Yeah, no, the veins are going all over the United States
Wow.
as far
Can
as
you get us some
operations
cocaine?
Can you
yeah.
guess something? How
Yeah.
Just
ballsy is
random.
that?
I mean, who
My
would
God.
ask anyone that?
that
But
was
see-
pretty crazy.
But see, you have misconceptions on how things operate.
Yeah.
You should
I
have
say
said
that
yes
because-
and looked for some sugar or something and been, here you go.
Here you
Yeah.
go.
We $1,000 bucks. Let's go
Because-
have fun.
Yeah.
Because if you've only gone to say Vegas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the rumors are, or the stereotypes are that any cab driver can point you in the right direction
Yeah.
or whatever, and
That's true.
and all that kind of stuff.
So what
And
are you
you
gonna
never
do? You're
know.
gonna-
You
that's
never
true.
know.
Oh yeah.
You never
yeah.
know what they were told.
Yeah. But I'm
They were told something.
we're
Yeah.
getting away from what Keith was asking. So I'm my grandparents on my father's side came up here from Mexico, from Durango and Sinaloa, and they came up here legally. And my grandfather was very proud to say that he was an American. If you asked him, he wasn't, just because of
Yeah.
having a Hispanic last name. Oh, well, I'm a Mexican, but he was he said I'm an American, and he was
Yeah.
very,
Mhm.
very proud of that. And he
Absolutely.
instilled that in his children also. And he's the one I learned how to read Spanish at a very young age.
Yeah.
I would go visit him. And he was from Bisbee, and he'd take me down to Naco and buy me comic books in Spanish. So I learned to
Oh, very cool.
That's awesome.
That's
to
an
read
awesome way to
Spanish. So
learn.
yeah, I mean, so there's that connection right away. So it's not like I'm out there picking on people,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
there again, you don't know what everybody's intentions
Mhm.
are, and
Absolutely.
you need to know what their intentions are. So if they're coming into the States illegally, why?
Why are
You
you?
know,
Yeah. Why
And
can't you do it the
I
right way?
understand. Yeah, I understand it costs money.
Oh, it's
Sure,
hard,
it's
too.
expensive, but there again, why not just do it legally? We need people for certain jobs. And there's so many
Mm-hmm.
visas. I hear immigration reform. Well, there are things in place to bring people over here legally.
Yeah. You have to do the paperwork. You have to be willing to
Exactly.
put your
Yeah.
name on
Have
the dotted
due
line.
So-
diligence.
Yeah.
And your intentions should be to whatever, if you're going to stay here and have a residence, and God bless you, not just come over here, work illegally, make a bunch of money that you keep sending in remittances
Right.
back to your country, and then you go back home
Yeah.
at some point. You don't want to live the American dream.
Right.
You
Yeah.
want to just make money and send
And
it
send it
back
back,
home.
Right.
which is
And go
fine
back
too.
home.
If you're going to do a
No,
green
not
card or
But if
technically.
you
something
do
We
like
it
that,
don't
legally-
want our money
we
leaving.
don't.
So
But
Keith, leave that up. If you
sometimes
want.
I mean, it's just it's too difficult because there's a demand. Unfortunately, things are going to continue. And,
We
lost
it's
John and
sad to
Wendy.
say.
Oh.
Oh,
Damn it.
yeah.
That's okay. You can
That's
still
all right.
hear
We're
us.
gonna have to go.
Broke it.
The thing is, and actually, my opinion, Dan, though, would be consequences. To people that are using. I mean, truly.
Sorry,
I mean, that
folks.
would-
Our
that would
control
be
center
it.
guy is new.
and he's had a couple of
Sorry,
drinks.
yeah,
I'm so
he's had a
sorry.
couple-
He's
in there-
usually sitting right
He's in there
here.
drinking by himself.
I know. Well, he had
What
the
does that tell
11%. He's having a lot more fun
If this
than we
bottle
are.
was in there, we'd really
There's
be
nobody
wondering.
even
I
watching
know. We
him.
haven't even refilled his shot.
Keith, you've been doing a
We
great
should
job.
refill his shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we
Dan,
should.
also with the influx of drugs
Give him
coming
mine.
in.
No, I'm just
So,
kidding.
I mean, you'd be surprised how much fentanyl is coming directly from China. And you got college kids that are, with pill presses that are paying their way through college.
Wow.
You know, she's actually bringing you
Yeah.
booze. You should marry her.
Right?
Yeah, marry that girl.
There's a thought.
She should probably fix your guys' camera too.
But-
just so
but-
just Seymour
Try some
bumped
of
into your
screen
camera.
right now.
So I mean, but to Dan's question, to stop the influx, there is no real way. There's too much
Yeah.
money involved.
Yeah.
And so the real way, the only way to do it would literally, you would have to go and you would have to do a military incursion into Mexico to be
Yeah.
able to stop it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's, and nobody's willing to make that political.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I mean, all of a sudden we are the aggressors because
Yeah.
we are
Right.
violating
Yeah.
a sovereign country.
And if
And
it's
so-
not, like, say, for instance, we stop the actual flow, you're going to have people cooking it out in the middle of, nowhere. You're going to have them cooking meth.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
having a
Yeah,
chat
exactly. You're going to
Mhm.
get Breaking Bad. People are going to be, doing it anyway. So it doesn't matter. There has to be stricter consequences to the people that are caught with it or doing it
Yes.
or manufacturing. I mean, that's the only way you're going to stop it.
So to your point, Arthur,
Mhm.
you said that people wanted to come here to live the American dream, right?
Well,
Come
I'm
here
saying
and-
if they wanted to come here to live the American dream and stay here, then yeah, God bless them. Do it legally, but not all of them want to.
But and that's my point. I mean, I would say what percentage do you think want to just come here and make money and send it back home, or come here and even do things that are not good to
Nefarious.
Americans? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. You know what? I really couldn't put a number on that. I
Right.
mean, there's
You think
really
it's
no
like-
way to quantify
Like one
that.
out of two,
But let
or
me
do you
ask
think
you-
it's
No,
like
I couldn't.
one
I couldn't,
out of three?
But on that
yeah,
point, let me ask
I
you:
couldn't say. Yeah.
Did you run across people that, because you're hearing the stories now
Mhm.
of, what is it? Something's 13. What's the drug gang that is
Oh, Mara Salvatrucha.
that's
Yeah,
filtering-
MS-13 from El
MS-13
Salvador.
that's coming across every now and then.
Yeah.
They're catching them.
Yeah.
And so how many people do you think that you've run across? And I don't need a number, but I mean, I'm sure you probably ran across people that they're not coming here to find a better way of life or to get a job to be able to send money home. They're literally coming here to do bad things.
Yeah, crime. Yeah.
Mhm.
And actually, the MS-13, they originated here in the United States.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, in Los Angeles.
LA, I
So
was gonna say,
yeah. So
Really?
in the 80s, when a lot of the El Salvadorans, because of the war that was going on and we were bringing them into the country, they were, claiming asylum. So they were getting picked on by the Mexican gangs in the Los Angeles area. And so, of course, they all got together and they made a clique. And I mean, these are people who came from a war-torn country.
Yeah.
So the stuff,
picking up a gun and shooting at somebody.
Not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
hurt
the
anybody.
things they've seen, are a lot more harsh than the Mexican gangs of, again, some guy who has a Hispanic last name that can't speak any Spanish
Yeah.
other than orale, and
Yeah.
he says, I'm Mexican, ese.
A Mexican, eh?
Yeah, and so these, to protect themselves against the Mexican gangs, they formed that the Mara
MS-13.
Salvatrucha, the MS-13, and then they started getting into trouble, and then they were deported back into El Salvador, where then they flourished, and then
So
of
these
course
LA
started
guys
taking.
got put in
Now all of a
El
sudden they
Salvador.
realized that they could
Yeah.
actually make a living off of this.
Yeah,
And just like, I mean, it's obviously not just the Latin gangs. I mean, there's,
Yeah, no.
there's,
you got the Vietnamese
the Irish mafia has
gangs,
been
you've got-
around for
Ever.
hundreds of years. And,
Yeah.
all these, the Italian mafia,
Mafia, yeah.
anything.
yeah,
so-
most definitely. Yeah, the Russian mafia.
Russian
they're-
mafia. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're all here, most definitely operating in certain areas. The Mexican, though, the cartels, the ones that come up here to the US and operate, they try to stay very clean. They
Yeah.
don't mess
No.
with people. Yeah, they don't mess with each other. They work with each other because they don't want to bring that kind of heat.
On them.
Yeah.
They want to keep the,
They
They want to stay under the radar.
the federal government
Oh,
off
yeah.
their back,
Exactly.
and they want to stay low key.
Yeah.
Where while they're in Mexico, that's when they act up and they're shooting people up. And,
Yeah, they don't care.
Doing all
What are they
kinds of
going to
stuff.
do? Guns are illegal.
But once in a while you'll hear about something. Well, of course the news isn't going to put it out there, but they'll put a
Occasionally
hit.
it boils over.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's-
there'll be a hit that takes place where somebody overstepped their bounds here in the U.S. that was
Yeah.
been doing business with
Mhm.
them, and
'Cause-
there's consequences.
Because I remember a handful of years ago where and I'm drawing a blank on, there was the like Netflix or HBO. I want to say probably HBO movie or series on the Mexican drug cartels.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Narcos. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
one of the producers actually got kidnapped.
Yeah.
because
And he
they-
got
and he got executed because
Yeah,
they told the
because it was
producers,
too real.
they said, knock it off. This is getting too close to home. And so
Oh
they
my
said,
God.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's not going to happen.
It'll be fine,
Because
it'll be
again, it's the
fine.
elites in Hollywood. They go, he's
Oh, they're not
bluffing.
gonna
And next thing
touch
you know,
us.
you get a finger that shows up in the mail
Yeah.
and said,
And
just
your
let you
guy's
know,
not gone.
the rest of the guy's buried somewhere in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
I didn't even know
This
that.
is all
Oh,
you get
yeah.
back.
Yeah. They
don't care?
They have a reach.
No.
Yeah. They definitely have a reach.
What's
that's for
Hollywood
sure.
gonna do?
Yeah. But it that stuff happens. I mean, they'll have there'll be these bandas that do what's called narco corridos. They do songs about the different the different cartels.
Yeah.
And so other cartels will take offense to certain songs that they have, and these bands will get killed.
And
These
you're like, I was just
musicians.
singing a
Well,
song.
crazy.
I would imagine.
No, there's
and
all
I-
kinds of craziness.
And
that goes
again,
on.
I'm just only
Yeah.
going by what I see in the movies, but I would imagine that just based on what you know from human nature,
Yeah.
a lot of these guys get so much money that they do feel like they are
They're invincible.
Oh, yeah.
relatively untouchable, and or
Yeah.
the fact that they get such an ego.
Yeah.
that-
Like slapping somebody in the face on national television.
Yeah, if you
Was that too soon?
Well, that's a
Sorry, was
perfect
that too
example.
far? I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Is it because black people don't
They
have
get
guns?
too big for your britches.
Right.
But yeah, I mean they're untouchable, and in some cases they are in Mexico in some places. But there's
And apparently
always
during
somebody
movie
who
things.
wants to take your place.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Somebody who
Like-
wants to get rid of the
Maybe-
boss.
think of
Yeah.
Scarface.
I always like that.
Yeah,
that
it's exactly Scarface.
Scarface.
I always like that line out of Yellowstone. There's always a bigger bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and there is
Tony
yeah,
Montana.
and meaner and more desperate.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's
Who's
the whole
willing
thing.
to go
is-
that far?
Yeah, and it may not be you, but it's your family members. you
So
know?
my next question, I got
You have a lot of questions.
List of
Yeah, I
questions.
was
I got
gonna
a
No
list of
problem.
questions.
Yeah, if I
So
can answer,
again,
I will.
because it fascinates me. Because again, I am very much, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't think that all these things going wrong with our country can be necessarily random. And it also scares me that does it seem like somebody's trying to do it on purpose? And one of the things that I look at, and they say, so obviously in Texas, they always keep saying it's the Del Rio area.
Yeah.
And then obviously in Arizona, it's the Yuma area. And they were talking, I literally was just listening to this yesterday, I think it was. And they were talking about how the Yuma area is just flowing. People are just coming across the border as if it was like, crossing from Arizona into California.
Yeah. Well, now I don't necessarily think it's a specific area. I think, they can pretty much target any certain area to go through. RGV, Rio Grande Valley, is a big popular crossing area because it's at the southern end of Texas. And so it's easy for them to get from Central America.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the
Okay.
shortest route.
And at
for
one
them.
point, and at one point they weren't. When Tucson area was the busiest,
Yeah.
it was because you had a cartel down there that
That was
was
bringing them
killing. No, they were killing.
Oh,
if they
on
were,
that
if they tried to
side?
attempt, yeah. If they were
Oh,
the
okay.
route to take them. I mean, there was an incident where there were a whole bunch of Central American migrants that were killed by this particular cartel. And
Because they
weren't
didn't want
allowed.
them going through there.
Yeah. And so then the Mexican government put a little bit of heat on them and said, well, you could make a little money rather than killing
Kill
them.
them all
And so
off.
then,
Push them to a different
yeah,
place.
so then that kind of shifted things over. And that's when, like I said, I saw that shift with more
What you were
Central
coming through.
Americans, but then we also saw that shift going towards Texas as well, especially Rio Grande Valley. And it's funny. So when I went to supervisory school and they were asking us, tell us, your name and where you're from and what your sector is doing
Yeah.
to take care of problems. And, I said, yeah, I'm Arthur. I'm from Tucson sector. And we're putting out a smear campaign saying that it's easier to get through Rio Grande Valley. So go over there. and it worked.
You're like, bye.
Yeah, because it didn't actually happen, but
No,
people
but
got the
it's
joke. Yeah.
you gotta, it's-
Yeah.
So Dan, who's bumming you out now?
Sweet.
She's such a sweet.
I don't know if it helped yet, even though it isn't finished, because then they would go to the places where it's that it's still open.
So it's
but it
funneling
would be
more.
a big it's funneling, which is good because then you can get people to work certain areas.
Yeah.
Because when I got in also, which Keith will like this. So when I went to Douglas, excuse me, and El Paso did this to bring their numbers down, and it worked. They're called X's, and agents hate it because they're positions. They put you in positions, and then so many yards, there's another agent that's just parked there, and you are just there. It's
there?
high presence.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's just
that would be
high
awful.
presence.
You
And
literally just sit there all day.
you sit there all day.
My God.
Yeah, and some of them it used to be a static X where you couldn't move. And then you'd have people doing tactical positions behind you.
Yeah.
So, I just had 5 go by me, and then they would pick them up.
Then
But then
it
got to the point to where we had some leeway, and we would move and shift
a little bit.
and then the tactical position would come in and take your position, and then you would go work.
Oh, that's
group.
good. At least
But-
you're not just sitting.
So but when I was sitting the X, I would take a guitar or I would take my bass.
Yeah.
Because I could look. My hands would be down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so I'm playing, and I'm still looking around rather than
Right.
looking at a book or
True.
a magazine.
Yeah.
True.
It was,
Yeah,
I
'cause if
could-
you're
I
looking
could
at a book
still
or
survey the
magazine,
area.
you're
You're no
not
good
paying
if you're.
attention.
Yeah, exactly. You're no good that way. So I would occupy my time that way and still surveil
You
the
have
area.
my eyes available. Yeah.
I'd be vigilant.
That's cool.
Well, we had.
So,
Sorry, John. Go ahead.
so a handful of months ago, there was the story of the cartels, at least one of the cartels, if not a couple of the cartels, were actually targeting Border Patrol agents.
Oh, so when I first got into the Border Patrol, my very first day I entered on duty, there was a newspaper article, and there I am being sworn in. And I was wearing a
Do
blue
you always shout to
polo
everybody?
shirt.
I know for firefighters, if you get your picture in the paper,
Yeah.
you owe a drink to everybody in the department.
And it said signing up for danger. And it was because there was a bounty on Border Patrol agents.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was funny
Oh
because
Lord, and
my-
you're
Yeah.
bright and shiny.
so my
Yeah.
and there I am on the
Great.
cover of the paper there in Tucson.
How much did
and,
they just make to put it on me? Come
yeah,
on,
and
bro.
so it's funny because Andrea
kept a
knows
copy
my
of
yeah.
I've got it. So Andrea knows my ex-father-in-law, and so it's funny. So he calls me up and he says, "Hey, I can make big money on you." Right?
Yeah, exactly. Cartel's like, get anybody, you get $5,000. Get this schmuck on the paper, you get 10.
So I mean, there's always that where there's bounties put on agents. It's just it's just part of the job.
I mean, so now Keith and I have a mutual friend who, and I don't think that this guy is much of a,
You guys have a friend?
yes, Dino.
And a mutual.
I know. I was a little impressed there. I was
You-
like, well, there's
you
Brian.
actually, you actually know Dino too.
I
and
like
so does-
Dino.
Yeah.
And so, and Dino is a pretty stand-up guy. I mean, we both, I don't think he's an exaggerator. And he tells us about he hates going down to Nogales to do jobs because of the fact, especially he has to go on roofs of buildings sometimes. And he goes, and there's just, there's just
Oh, I remember
bullet
that.
holes here and there
Oh,
because
yeah.
they just shoot bullets across the border for.
Yep.
He goes, I don't know if there's a reason or not, but just
Yeah.
every now and then, you find an air conditioning unit on a roof that has, 2 or 3 bullet holes. And he goes, it's kind of unsettling because you're up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
for
You're
one-
on the roof,
and
right
you
next
never
to
know
this
what the
air
hell's going to
conditioning
just,
unit.
arbitrarily come across the border.
Yeah,
Nogales
now
looks
it's
like
scary.
you are in Mexico.
Yeah.
Well,
and-
Nogales. Well, there's the 2 parts. There's Nogales, Sonora, and Nogales, Arizona.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're in Nogales, a lot of those border towns, a lot of them have close ties, family ties to Mexico. So I mean, they think that they're in Mexico, but
So, I mean, my point is, if you're sitting out there on the border and you're sitting in, a Tahoe and you're just
you're
out
sitting duck.
there, it seems
Yeah.
a little like it would be a little unsettling as far as, and I wouldn't know technically whether I'd rather be there at night or be there during the day.
Yeah.
But at least
Yeah.
at night, I kind of have a little bit better,
I can blend
I
in
don't
a
see
little.
what's going on, but on the
Yeah.
other hand, I'm just as blind
Yeah.
theoretically to everybody else
Yeah.
as I am. But
Yeah.
Well, with that again, I mean, the cartels don't want to bring on that sort of heat to areas that they're using to smuggle.
okay.
Yeah.
Because if an agent is killed, it
Then
brings down.
everybody comes
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it brings down a lot of heat to a particular area, and then they can't operate in that area for quite some time. So yeah,
Okay.
they don't want that. But I mean, even the alien smuggling organizations, or even some of the aliens who were brave enough to try to cross by themselves, and they would throw rocks. We'd get rocked all the time. So we'd have Yeah, we'd have vehicles that were cages.
Do you see the 9mm I have on my hip?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rock your
and,
world.
And at that time, it was 40s.
Okay.
They didn't start carrying 9s until I was ready to retire. In fact, I remember when I was getting ready to retire.
You were saying last week.
Yeah,
they
were
used
saying
to carry 40s.
Yeah. They asked me, hey, do you want to qualify with the 9? And I said, am I going to get any ammo to take home? And they said, no, we only have enough ammo just for you to qualify and then carry. And I said, why bother then?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You have a gun
did you
checked
have
into
to?
me.
All right. So just being, silly. This has nothing to do with the discussion. But they supplied the weapons, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna wear out their weapon, who cares?
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. No, and we had, when I was in, it was H&K P2000s, and then I had the SK also, because at one time, actually for most of my years, I was kind of privileged. I was on a team where it was plain clothes.
Okay.
So I did most of my time in plain clothes, Monday through Friday, thank goodness, and days. Thank God I was very fortunate with that. I mean, they would supply the gun, they would supply your ammunition while you'd go out there.
Yeah.
And I love
anybody who wants to give me an H&K 40, I'll take it.
Oh yeah. So when I retired, I mean, I had so much surplus ammo because they used to give you practice ammo.
Yeah.
And I mean, not anymore because they're pretty low on ammo. But I mean, I had all these magazines and all sorts of, not clips, but
hair clips. They didn't give you hair clips.
Somebody was paying attention.
Yeah, and also holsters and a lot of accessories. So when I retired, I went out and bought a P2000 just because.
You
and
had
I didn't
everything
really
that
like
fit
that.
it.
Yeah, and I didn't really, oddly enough. So we used to carry Berettas at one point, which I mean they were heavy. I didn't like the trigger pull, but I could shoot them better than I could the H&K for some weird reason. Yeah, some weird reason. But
I mean, everybody's got. I mean, I get it.
Here's another
Not that we're getting
question.
off subject, but I mean, I love my full size 5-inch 45 just because of the fact that that is when I had to qualify for concealed carry. That was the one I went, even though I'm wasting money on 45 ammo.
Oh yeah,
just because I know I shoot the best with that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
45s is just a great gun. I have an old Colt Combat Commander.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and I love that gun.
Oh, don't talk to me about 1911.
We just get into
we probably
we're going to steer way off course if we start going 1911.
People watching are going.
Are we looking over the fence?
That's a whole nother day.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question we have was
Christine.
something I kind of wanted to segue into, though. First, before we get to that, so we did have a comment earlier from Will about tunnels. We hear about tunnels a lot.
Yeah. Now I don't know if they still do. I mean, they were tunneling when I was in. Yeah, but the tunnels are generally for drugs. I mean, it was very rare you would hear about an illegal alien. Yeah, that it would be a people tunnel. And I remember of hearing of one that was over in Yuma's area. And I take that back. It was over by Otay Mesa in San Diego. And it was just coming up in the middle of nowhere. It was pretty weird, where the drug tunnels are very sophisticated.
Yeah, they come up in the basement of a house.
Oh,
or
a business. Yeah, an old business.
What happens when it rains?
No, these things are.
Yeah, they're sophisticated.
So they're like mine tunnels.
Oh yeah, they're
pumping
like
20 feet under and stuff. And
they pump air through there. They have lighting. They have
that would freak me out.
Little carts that come through
the rails.
So
mini
it's
rails
literally like a mine.
You come up in the tunnel, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I've read some stories, and they say they come up and they literally, that comes up in the basement of a house or a business. And I mean, there's garages, and I mean, the trucks just pull out in the middle of the night and you don't see nothing.
Oh, that's crazy.
The neighbors know nothing.
Yeah. It's very, very quiet. And
they'll bring in people from other countries that are specialists.
German engineers I've heard of.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it can get very sophisticated. Yeah, there was a guy that I used to work with.
Business. Yeah, I mean, that's your.
Yeah, there was a guy that I used to work with. That was his thing, was tunnels, and he was an analyst. He wasn't a badge carrying officer.
Yeah, because by then it's just all numbers.
I'm gonna have to have a conversation with BMAC.
Yeah, he.
We Keith and I
Send his
have,
new
well, we
job.
all, the four of us have a mutual friend who is a mining engineer.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
Hey, how'd you get that nice Tesla?
Yeah.
Does
That
he need to
Corvette.
tell us how he got his solar panels?
Oh, so Christine, what kind of precautions were implemented to keep border patrol agents safe? Now, sitting there on the border, I mean, we have vests. You know, we'd wear vests, but I mean, that's pretty much it. And as far as rockings, we would have
So when
vehicles.
you say vest, just to be technical,
Yeah.
I mean, so you're talking
Bulletproof
carrier,
vest.
but
Yeah.
you're talking like, are
Yeah,
these
you have the
plate carriers?
carrier. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And some of them, I mean, you
A
could
what?
check out plates.
Plate
You could check out
carriers.
plates, but
Kevlar.
So
Yeah.
it's a vest, but it actually holds
The metal plates
a metal
inside.
plate inside
Okay.
of it.
yeah, those,
Thank
I
you.
mean, those you could get for yourself or you could check out. But otherwise, they gave us just something that could stop what we were carrying, our vest,
Okay.
you know. So
Do you have a lot of leeway as far as picking what you wanted to
it
carry?
used to be at one particular point, but towards got closer to my retirement, no, it was just one manufacturer and that was it. And these were even heavier. I mean, they weren't quite as nice as the ones when I first got in. There were like 3 different companies that we could choose from that
Yeah.
would manufacture these vests, and those were pretty nice. They were pretty lightweight.
Sorry, I'm geeking out,
Yeah.
folks. So
Yeah.
so did you have, and
It was like
so
a level 3.
So I go back to like SEALs. So SEALs get a lot of leeway, right?
Yeah.
And so they could carry pretty much anything they wanted to onto the battlefield
As far as guns,
as far as anything.
oh yeah,
They could
no.
literally take any kind of, whether it was supplied by the Navy or whether it was, they just
Yeah.
bought it and brought it with them. And so like Chris Kyle in his book, he just brought a, I forget, but he had a 1911 was his personal carry along with his Beretta and his, cause back, or not even Beretta, this back when they carried SIGs.
Yeah.
And so, he had his 226 and he had his M4 and then he had his 1911 as his personal carry.
Yeah.
I mean, would they allow you to carry personal stuff on?
No.
I wouldn't
It
think
had
so.
and you couldn't have a second pistol. I mean, you had your duty pistol.
You only had one?
Yeah. You just had one, and at the time was Beretta or H&K.
And how many did your clip hold? I'm sorry, I had to.
Yeah, you know what? I can't remember exactly how much the magazine held off the top of my head, which is bad because I
Did
was
you get one mag or
I was
two?
oh no, we could
Like
as
3,
many
4,
magazines
5.
we
Oh,
could
okay.
carry. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean our belt was designed to carry 2
But,
in the
But
carrier.
I would
but
imagine
you
you
could
guys are
carry as
probably
many
the
as you
same
want.
vein as, I mean,
Yeah.
the military always practices that your pistol is just to get you to your rifle.
yeah.
And that's all. I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys did the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's to pretty much get you out of the situation.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
but then you had your M4,
Yeah.
and then you could also with that, I mean, you could carry as many magazines
Yeah.
as you
Oh,
wanted with
okay.
your M4, and then the shotgun also. I mean, there are a lot of people who love carrying the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you're coming up on a group and you hear that thing rack,
it
Yeah.
will make you
You're
stop.
like,
oh yeah, that commands a lot
That's
of
a
attention.
universal sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some of the teams, like I could carry the UMP 40, the H&K UMP 40, which was pretty nice, but it was a slow bullet. When you'd fire it, you'd hear like a second later, pop, it hit the target.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then the MP5 at first, and then we went to the UMP 40.
But the MP5, and now I've never shot one, and I will admit that. So, I mean, but my understanding is that thing is like, you might as well be shooting a shotgun because it is all over the place.
Well, because it's a 9, but no, it wasn't too bad for close range combat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice gun, but the UMP 40, it's a nice gun. You could go full auto with it as well, and if you were going to clear a house, that was and it'd be
Sure.
decent. But like I said, the bullet was slow. The M4 is just it's far superior.
Cool.
Okay. Y'all are geeking out.
I am. I am.
One thing I think that's worth mentioning is we have so many family members and friends that like to go vacation, and Arthur warns them all the time, and it's a
Yeah, to
scary
go into
situation.
Mexico. I mean, because you guys
It's-
were saying
you're there
you like to
throwing
go
your dice.
vacation, right? In there,
Yeah.
but I mean,
We just went one time to
oh.
Yeah, it's
Rocky
beautiful,
Point.
but
Yeah, I don't go just because of all this stuff going
he
on
just
and
knows
the
too
risk.
much.
Yeah.
He's seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
statistically, really,
Yeah.
because kidnapping is also a thing because of
What about
that's-
Rachel's experience?
Well, yeah. That's we have a cousin that had a situation where a cartel leader came into a
pretty
restaurant
big one.
that she was in, and they closed all the doors and armed, his armed
One of the
henchmen
biggest
came
one.
in
We won't
and
mention
took,
the name.
yeah, took everybody's cell phones, sat down, had dinner.
And it was a nice restaurant.
Yeah,
So she
yeah.
thought, I'm at a nice
I'm
restaurant.
saying,
Yeah.
That's where he ate.
But
Well, of course.
But the funny thing is, so he goes in and he takes everybody's phones and he sits down, has dinner. Everybody's flipping out, but they were having their meals and stuff. And so
I
when
could
they
barely
got
eat.
up to leave, he paid for the entire restaurant
And then gave back
Oh,
the
that's
phone.
crazy.
Yeah, and gave back
Oh,
the
wow.
phone. So
That's-
he paid for everything.
So he just didn't want any pictures of him
Yeah.
while he was
Right,
there.
yeah. No.
That's crazy. But
Yeah.
how terrifying is that?
Oh
if
yeah,
you're
that's a
terrifying.
scary
And I-
situation.
and
Because
I-
you're like,
Enjoy your
I'm
meal.
going to disappear. Like,
Yeah.
this is the shit that happens
Yeah.
on TV.
Yes.
Well, all it takes is a rival to come in and shoot up a
or,
restaurant.
or,
Yeah,
or the federales or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I get it. I mean, there's always a famous story back. So Wendy and I are from the Chicago area, and up there, the motorcycle gang in the Chicagoland area is the Outlaws.
Mhm.
And so the Outlaws, I mean, there was a famous story about the fact that they had a funeral for one of their own. And so the FBI literally had, a surveillance van sitting right at the entrance, and they photographed every person that went in, every person that left,
Oh my
and they were
God.
running background checks on who
Yeah.
everybody
Oh,
is just
yeah.
because they're updating their roles. I mean,
Yeah,
I get
exactly.
it. I totally
Yeah, they're
understand that.
collecting intel.
Yeah.
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 Oh man.
Getting pattern of life. So that was pretty funny. So saying pattern of life. I mean, we're probably not going to go there, but our homework assignment was to watch 2,000 Mules. And so
Oh, we couldn't find
Did
it.
you-
really,
We
yeah,
could
no, we
not
watched
find
it.
it.
Yeah.
How
We
can you
looked-
not find it?
Keith
Yeah.
looked everywhere. We could not find it.
2000mules.com.
We had
Yeah.
a friend
We
that
couldn't
sent
get it to pull up. Like, we could not get it.
Or you were trying to watch in the theater.
No, we were trying to watch it on the TV.
No, we were trying to
downstairs.
stream it. We couldn't find it.
Wow.
Keith could not
Nobody
find it
had it.
anywhere.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was so weird.
I know it was supposed to go back in the theaters, and I'm wondering if
they took it off because they were putting it back in the theaters.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
know, but we couldn't find it.
We'll send it to you.
Yes,
But a
please.
lot of their method of collection, I understood what was going on without developing pattern of life. That's why I brought that up. But
Because you've
That has nothing to
you've
do with the
used
board.
that in the past where you've
oh yeah,
tracked cell phones and stuff.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
there'd be-
tracking cell phones. Gee, so it is possible.
Yeah. Well, even just geo coordinate. You
Yeah.
do what's called triangulate radios,
Yeah,
radio
absolutely.
signals. Yeah,
It's
because
I
they-
mean, it's no different than being a geek and Keith being a geek as far as we're technology guys.
he might
we're
not want to
electronics.
be called a geek.
Yeah.
Stop
No.
calling my man a geek.
Trust me, I know he doesn't care.
He prefers nerd.
But on the other hand, when you
Yeah.
can sit there and you can literally pull up on your
yeah, showing your
Google Maps, and
location.
it literally will show that you're in this corner of the house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And and it may take a second for it to find the right corner, or right now it says I'm across. Oh no. Now it says I'm in
Yeah.
the front door.
Now it's
Yeah.
ready.
And so it's accurate. It's accurate.
Oh,
It's supposed to
yeah.
be accurate within 3 feet.
Does
I don't care what
not-
anybody says. It is supposed to be accurate within 3
Can
feet.
it tell you if I'm upstairs or downstairs?
No.
Then
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
an
no.
advantage.
Because
Yeah.
all it needs is 3 towers, and it can tell exactly where you're at.
Yeah, I can triangulate.
It's old,
where
and
you're
I mean,
at.
this
That's
is
fine as long as you
old.
don't know if I'm upstairs or downstairs.
This is old radio triangulation that goes back decades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
This
that's
is
not
not-
law enforcement that's doing that. That's the
No.
corporations. that
Yeah,
are
this
That's
is
the
tracking.
not
businesses who want to know where you
Fancy
are.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's why when your app says, "Oh,
Yeah.
can we track your location?" Fuck you.
So
You
I mean,
cannot.
I actually, so I'm going to boast here a little bit. So I actually committed a bucket list item and got
I
my.
thought he was going to say a felony, and I was like,
No.
"Damn it
So
already!"
I crossed a bucket list
Why were we
item
not
off,
there?
and I, so I'm an old aviation electronics technician from way back, and actually got my ham license not too long ago. Stop. And so they
And
literally
what's
talk
a
about
ham like a pork ham?
no. So I actually have a radio license now. So, but they talk about how easy it is to actually triangulate where there are people who don't have an FCC license to be able to pick up those that are violating the law. It's not really that hard.
Yeah, no.
And so when you use this triangulation in your with your phone, it's that much more accurate.
So you're gonna start streaming our show on the ham.
No.
What?
Oh, shut up.
Why not?
See, Dan,
Those are the
look
people-
what happens. See, and Dan
Those
gives
are the
me
people
such
that are
hard
gonna
time
like
about that.
us.
But see, I thought it was funny because, so a handful of probably 3 or 4 months ago, all of a sudden I get a random text from Keith that goes, "Do you have a ham radio?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Figures." But it was like a $30 Chinese radio. It's not like it's, I don't have the big set with the, like out of the movies.
with the radio station thing.
I brought it here once, and they're both, and him and
It's good for what,
Keith,
a mile?
Keith and Lindsay were both like, "That's it."
That's it. Yeah, it was tiny. It looks almost like a big walkie-talkie.
Not even big. It's
A
like the
small
size,
one,
the
right?
size of a regular
It's
walkie-talkie.
a little bigger.
No,
it looks
it's
more
not
like our
even.
Mel meter.
No,
And how far does it can
couple miles, maybe at
Distance?
the most, 2 miles.
Yeah. So
Do you
at
get
one
anybody
point,
on yours?
Huh?
Do you get anybody on yours?
I haven't tried
Can you
yet.
shit talk to people?
Not yet.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I want to drive down the road with you and just talk shit to people. I'll put on the purge
It
music.
is
and be
not.
like,
It is not. No, I am
like an
not.
old
I'm not
CD.
losing my
Oh.
license in the first month of getting it.
Right.
No.
yeah.
Tell
So
them it was stolen.
with radios, I mean, at one point, and this is the government then tying agents' hands more and more, because at one point, you could buy a scanner or even just a
Mhm.
family radio service and take it out there, and then you would hear chatter.
Yeah.
And you would hear the
That
scouts.
you could hear what they were telling.
Oh yeah, the scouts were talking. Okay, it's clear, and
Go
then all of
this
a
way,
sudden,
go that
wait a minute,
way.
and they would say what area. You'd be like, "Holy crap, there it is!"
They're
You'd
going
see a
right there,
vehicle,
yeah.
ramping over the fence, and you would catch it, and so agents could take their own radios in,
Yeah.
and then it was like, "Oh yeah, no, got to tie."
Really?
Oh
Really?
yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that
Then their hands,
outrageous?
their hands are tied, and they couldn't. We couldn't monitor
What?
any sort of radio traffic.
Unbelievable.
All right, so
that
I'm gonna.
seems so
Banter.
counterproductive.
That's
Yeah.
it.
If-
Isn't
if-
the purpose?
Who are we
Yeah.
protecting?
All right, so
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you can answer, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Everybody settle down.
What?
Hold on, we're
Everybody
3 Del
settle
bucks in.
down.
Let's fill them up again.
Give Andrea another shot. If you can
Mine's
answer,
gone.
why do you
Yeah,
think that
like,
was?
there you go.
I really couldn't say. Yeah. Don't know. Violation of you're
different
violating people's rights, because if you're listening in, happens to be a U.S. citizen and it's not a Mexican.
Yeah, but if your U.S. citizen is smuggling in
But
Mexico,
no,
you
no,
get
no,
the
no.
same
And I-
meter the
and
same
there's
way.
I
all
would
kinds
say-
of weird rights that, I mean, if you're listening on family radio service, then you're good to go.
Free and clear.
Yeah, you're free and clear. But if it's encrypted or
That's a
what they
different
call
story.
rolling code, then because there is an expectation of privacy.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
That
you
is
have to
totally
you have
true.
to have a warrant for that. Yeah,
But if it's not encrypted,
yeah. So but there again, they got a little bit smarter
So-
and they started talking in encrypted. But back when it was just you could take just a regular
not even close,
walkie-talkie.
Dad. We did that
then
a
that was
long
good.
time ago.
What
We lost
What
that
was that?
a
Wait,
long time ago.
What was that? Lindsay went almost all night.
Yeah, I think within the first couple minutes you dropped the
Lost
F-bomb.
Dropped the
Yeah.
F-bomb.
Trust us, Dan. She used it all up in the beginning before the show started.
Hey, we have to do a hooker of the week.
Oh,
we do
yeah.
have a hooker.
Very special
Thankful
hooker.
to our lovely guest.
Let's do it.
My beautiful friend. My beautiful friend sent me this hooker today. Not lovely.
So here's our hooker of the week.
Hooker of the week. You
Right?
told me
And she said this.
did.
She
I literally
said
had
this.
to
I'm like-
eat poop every single day to look younger. I might, which means you will.
She said this on an actual interview.
Yeah.
Did she?
To the New
seriously?
York Times.
Yeah, she said that on an actual interview.
I'm doing whatever it'll
a
take.
verbal
stay young.
interview. I would
Honey,
eat
you
poop if it
don't
would
look
make
young. You
younger.
look fake. I'm gonna break that to you right
Oh
now.
my
I'm
God.
so
It's
sorry.
like, are
Can you imagine how much they spend on plastic surgery?
And you look awful.
my God.
You
Wow.
look awful.
Yeah.
You don't
Let's not
look
forget
good.
this is the same family that made a guy,
into a woman.
a record-holding gold medalist into a woman.
Oh
So
my God. You use
Stay
my
away from
hooker
the
in week.
Kardashians.
I love
Right.
it. I love it.
I have a really good hooker, y'all. I'm gonna have to just.
That's why
I don't
Jenner
know
is
when
so
we're going
messed
to
up.
use her.
Yeah, because they're all so
I don't know what
normal.
happened.
Right?
I don't know.
She's
Who
switching
did that?
cups on me.
It didn't
Who did
happen.
that?
And then all of a sudden I
That's
look at my
a
shot
lie.
glass and it's
It's a
full.
lie. Don't lie. Don't come on here and lie.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so
There is
we,
no
we
proof.
got we're already
There
running
might be
late.
video, but there's no proof.
But
So
we
I-
need to hear more from Andrea, don't we?
Yeah. What do you
Why-
want to hear?
Well, I do have another question for Arthur, but I
Sure.
All right, so what's the
Ask me a
question?
question.
Are
So-
we really that stupid? Yes, we are.
No, no,
Hey, we're just out here having fun.
It's KKFFs. What is that?
I have no idea. So,
William,
Ar-
what is KKFFs?
Arthur, earlier you and I were discussing the story about the lady that you spoke to. There's a lot of misconceptions about Border Patrol agents,
Oh yeah.
and they've made a lot of media attention for
Yeah.
negative connotations, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Well,
So talk a little bit about that, because I want to clear up some of the misinformation that's out there about the Border Patrol agents.
Are
'cause
we
I think-
misinformationing?
well,
people?
yeah. I mean,
We're not fact checkers.
I mean, the agents, a lot of them are getting into law enforcement. I mean, when you get into law enforcement, you're getting in to help people.
Right.
I mean, bring up, sadly enough, the thing in Uvalde, what did that agent do? I mean, he rushed in to help
Mhm.
people,
Yeah.
and so, we want to help people out there in the field. And a lot of people don't realize how often we are finding people out in the middle of the desert in distress because the smuggler just left them out there because they couldn't keep up with the group.
Talk about
I mean,
your
a
baby.
lot of it. Yeah.
The baby you
Oh,
found.
yeah. Many times you'd come
It's
upon
winter.
a group.
There's snow.
Yeah.
Literally on
Oh,
the
yeah.
ground.
Yeah. There was a baby one time, and I was
In
working out in the
diapers.
east side of Douglas, and it's snow on the ground, and there's a baby running around in a diaper, crying, looking
Oh,
for
you're
somebody.
kidding.
Oh no. And I took off my jacket and I lifted up the baby and I wrapped up the, I don't recall if it was a male or
course.
female baby, but I wrapped up the baby and held it tight and I
Tried to
started
get 'em
yelling,
warm
whose
and-
whose
whose is this?
baby is this? And
Like trying to
but they
find
spoke this
somebody.
indigenous language. They were from they were Mexican, but they were from a certain part of Mexico in the mountains, and they spoke this indigenous language, and there were 30 of them, and there were only maybe a handful that actually spoke Spanish to translate. And so, I mean, I was angry as a father.
You left
like,
this
well,
baby.
yeah.
Yeah. And how long
Yeah.
did they leave him for?
Yeah,
I mean,
who knows? When I pulled up and I see this baby, that's just
Oh, that's
horrible.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and stuff like that. You hear them crying about, our children, this and that. Well, you'll go up on a group and all of a sudden they run in different directions and leave the children. I mean, I saw that happen numerous times, and so we're saving people. There's many times I would give my lunch to a child. I would I wouldn't eat lunch because I found this child out in the middle of nowhere with a group, and I
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
make sure.
So the
So that's taken
misconception
care
that
of.
they're mean
Yeah,
to
that
these
we
people
don't
is
take-
not
You
true.
meet
Yeah.
them all the time.
Yeah,
though.
no, I mean,
Don't lie.
Yeah,
So that brings up a good
We
point. So
save
do you
people.
find that because I think
Wendy needs
a
in
lot of
everything.
people think that the values that we hold,
Yeah.
as Americans, is universal. And then you probably, I mean, so you've come across those from different countries, different nations, and you find that obviously the values are not held universally. You
Oh,
find that
yeah,
these
yeah.
values are, and it's crazy when you find out that kids can be just
Used.
almost
Tossed
throwaway.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of
They're
the kids
used.
when you'd hear
Used.
about the family groups, they're claiming asylum as a family group, and then you find out later on, okay, wait a minute, this child, we saw them a few weeks ago with a different family that was claiming asylum. I mean, that was going on.
Yeah.
That was an actual case, and we didn't used to fingerprint and photograph anybody under the age of 14. We'd enroll the name, which they don't give you the
They
real
make
name
up a
unless
name.
You're
there's
going to give him a baby. Come
unless
on.
they give you an identification. They have the Mexican voter registration cards that they would give us. But if they weren't from Mexico or even children, they wouldn't have that. So they would just give you whatever name. And
How do you know?
so agents started realizing, wait a minute, I saw
I
that
just saw
child
this kid. Yeah.
a few weeks ago. And so they got permission because it was a policy thing that we couldn't fingerprint and photograph under the age of 14. So they started to do that. And then we started getting the recidivism that repeat. Like,
You're like, this is a
okay,
3-year-old. How has he been here
yeah,
with 6 different families?
Yeah. So then they
Yeah.
started seeing, okay, this kid's been through here, a few weeks ago. It's been a few times, but with different people, and so that was identified.
That's sad.
Oh yeah. So they were being rented by the smugglers. I
Wow.
mean, yeah, these families were renting their kids
So
to
do you
try to
help
see
these
if
other
they
people
can
come
get
through.
Do you think it's mainly from the smugglers though?
Oh yeah, to help them get in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you can claim asylum if
Oh
you
yeah,
have this infant.
as a family unit
But
and be kept
more
together.
so by the smugglers than by individuals.
Oh yeah, by the smugglers. That would help them.
But
So-
the family is probably, I'm going to assume here, going beyond basic human nature. The family is probably renting this 3, 4, 5, 6, 10-year-old to the cartel. Here, use this person, use my child to be able, because I'm going to get money. You're going to give me money in some fashion.
Or did they just
well,
take
to the
them?
smuggling,
Yeah.
to the alien smuggling
Yeah,
organization
exactly.
is what. Yeah, they would rent them out, and then so there was an
Lucky if they
organization
get 'em back.
that was
Exactly.
identified that was taking them to, I can't remember
And
the
then if the
case, it was
family's
South
even alive.
Carolina
That
or
I
something
could
like
never
that,
imagine.
and they identified the woman that was then flying them back into Mexico.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I mean, and that's just one that I know of. That
Right.
that
Out
I
of how
remember.
many,
Yeah. Yes, they Dan, they have voter IDs in Mexico.
Tell
Yeah.
Pelosi.
Yeah,
I
they
swear, Dan, if you're not drinking, you should be.
do.
He doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Sir, are you drinking? Do you need another refill?
Yeah, that's
You.
funny because that's
You.
true. They do.
Do you need another refill?
I'm good right now.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't even get
Been
into
working
sex
on vacation.
trafficking tonight or nothing like that.
Into what?
Wait,
yeah.
that was part of the. Wait, how?
What was
how-
part of our thing?
That was supposed to be one of the things.
What?
Sex trafficking.
I'm just saying we didn't even get into that.
Well,
Oh my
let's
God.
start it, Keith. What's your
We
question?
already get in trouble with going over.
right. We're already over by 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh,
Oh.
11.
Uh-oh.
11
Well,
minutes.
just real quick, Christine. As far as
How many
children
children
being
uses
used
mules?
as mules, I really haven't heard of them
Because
they
being.
don't trust them that
you
much,
would,
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there would be a whole thing you'd hear about. Oh, there was a child that was stuffed with drugs, but it was actually dead. But that's all. Yeah, that's not real.
Yeah.
That's
Because they're going to keep the mules for people they trust.
But you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
a lot of stories about the kids that are being used for the so-called family units.
Oh yeah,
to be able to
yeah,
get in.
that
Yeah,
that I
well,
know
that's-
of.
yeah.
Yeah. That
That's how
I know
you were
for sure.
finding the ones that were coming through 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But Eric, I think this goes back to just what I was saying about the fact that there are different values in different parts of the country outside of the U.S.
yeah,
Well,
And outside of the
especially if
U.S., and I'm going to even stretch it out a little bit and say, outside of the U.S., Canada, and Europe, when you get outside of that, where kind of our values come from, because I would imagine most of it comes from kind of, European values from centuries ago.
Mhm.
Right.
Once you get outside of that, then this is where it becomes a whole different.
Well, and especially if you're promised by the cartel, oh, your child will be, after they do 3 family runs and they get 3 people in, they'll get to stay.
Oh my!
Like if
Like-
you're promised
Yeah.
that,
yeah.
how
That
do you
who's to
know
say?
better?
that I don't know for sure,
You know
but
what
I
I mean?
know
Like-
Go ahead and say it.
I know.
Andrew, go ahead and say it.
I'd never
That's
let
bullshit.
that's bullshit. I'd
Yeah.
never let even a stranger babysit my kid,
Yeah.
let alone that.
Well, and you
Take
got to
them out of
wonder
the
how many
country?
Yeah.
are stolen. Because
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many kids are kidnapped up
Here.
here. I'm
Oh,
sure that
yeah.
happens back there.
So-
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Oh my!
And that's a
God.
good point. That is actually a good point that I never thought of before. So,
Yeah, it doesn't mean that the families are willingly giving them away.
Right.
I gotta,
Maybe they were taking-
Yeah, in some cases that
Yeah,
I
they could have been
don't know.
taken for
Yeah,
sure.
that I don't
Yeah,
know.
we have no
I
idea.
couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't answer that.
That's
Yeah.
for sure, though. They may have been taken, not
I mean, because
Yeah.
we know that,
Yeah.
and it's ironic that,
kidnapped.
my daughter-in-law came here once, a couple of years ago, and her mom had looked it up, and she said, just be careful. And so we didn't realize that, the number one place for kidnappings,
Was Phoenix.
It's one of our
well, no,
models.
it's Mexico City.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
2 in the entire world. So
Yeah.
number 1 in the entire world is Mexico City.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Phoenix,
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah.
I think,
Wow.
In
well,
the entire
I
world.
never
in the
heard
entire
that.
world,
But-
absolutely.
And
But I can
Hispanic
answer-
too. So
Yeah.
it was.
So they're just going to blend in. They're not even going to miss them.
Yeah, and she was like,
Yeah.
be extremely careful.
Well, so I can answer
Oh.
about that whole number where that
Yeah,
the
it's
kidnapping
crazy.
thing comes from. So sometimes the cartels Well, the alien smuggling organizations, I got to differentiate, even though they pay the cartels. So alien smuggling organizations will hold people in stash houses in Phoenix and say, okay, well, the fee was let's say $6,000. Well, now it's going to be $15,000.
Yeah.
So they hold them, and that stat is carried as kidnapping.
Wow.
So that's where those numbers come from.
But
as
it
far
is
as
technically
that it's such, it technically is, but that's where that kidnapping stat comes from.
Well,
Yeah,
then
why it's very large.
Tempe
Okay.
is the
Yeah.
highest for when you steal the women and use them for sex trades, whatever that is.
Trafficking.
Yeah, human
trafficking.
yeah.
Tempe is
that
one. Tempe's the highest.
Really?
hmm
What's-
Because
It's
we're
like
a
college
little
town,
bit
that's why.
well, and it's actually south of ASU and everything. So
Yeah.
our Chandler hotel is very close to that, right up the road to what's that mall that's on the freeway?
Arizona Mills.
Arizona Mills is
Oh.
actually the highest place for trafficking.
Wow.
And that doesn't surprise
So
No.
when we
Right.
had
a lot
some
of gang
of
activity
Mhm.
there. A lot
we
of,
had some
Oh
of
my
our
gosh.
right on
clients
I-10. It's a
some of our
very-
clients that were
I've
staying, and
never
it goes
been
straight to Tucson. So some of our clients that were staying in the hotels had all these children, and the children were playing, outside in the parking lot. And we're like, you can't do that. Like this, they're gonna get stolen. They're literally outside with a 12-year-old watching them. Like they can't do this.
Wow.
Because of
crazy.
that, we came back with them. We're like, they're gonna get stolen. Like you can't do this.
And Will, I would say that I'm reading a book now, and I wish I could remember exactly the name of the book.
Don't let them steal my baby boy. He's beautiful.
But the whole point is the fact that you cannot don't be lulled into a false sense of security that it can't
Mhm.
happen to you.
Yeah,
Because that happens way too
Parking
often.
lots,
Yeah.
anything.
Because
Yeah.
it
How
can
many-
happen anywhere, anytime.
How
Yeah.
many videos?
I've been
Absolutely.
mugged.
Yeah, how many
been
videos do we
mugged?
see?
Yep. My
And they
my
lived.
yeah, my girlfriend. Yeah, we
Wow.
were in Hollywood.
Yeah, go
Seeing
figure.
a concert long ago in the 80s, and we were walking to see a show. We were all excited about four
Yeah.
of my girlfriends, and we're all walking, and all of a sudden some kids ran by, or whoever it was,
Yeah,
and was
snatched.
grabbing my girl's purse. It wasn't me
Yeah.
exactly, but my girlfriend next to me,
You were
and
there.
pulling her purse, and we were like, and she had her expensive camera and everything in it.
Oh
She's
yeah,
a
'cause you're going to the-
photographer.
yeah,
And so she's going like this, and the snaps or the straps
strap
broke,
Yeah,
and they got the
purse.
the
Yeah,
the
and-
expensive part.
and
So
dumb
and
Andrea
that
started running
particular
the
club
class.
is
I
right.
would've too.
The street
then I
that
was
is
like,
right next to it is the border
were so
between
mad we all
Beverly
went.
Hills and Hollywood, West Hollywood. So
We all
right
drove
next to
home.
Beverly Hills.
It
Oh,
just
wow.
ruined our night.
Yeah.
That sucks. No, it's absolutely crazy.
So, Andrea, I'll give you a chance to talk here, but since we don't have guests on very often, tell our audience a little bit about Heavy Metal Beer Club.
Oh.
Yes.
Heavy Metal Beer Club. We started this because my daughter said, you guys like going and drinking beer at all these crap places and talking about it to everybody.
Yeah.
So why don't you start a blog thing? and
show
put
about
out-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
show. Because she said, I've looked it up, me and Ramin, her fiance, and said, we never see anything that's fun. It's all boring.
Yeah.
So we said,
Oh,
well, all right. And we did. And he started filming, and we got more to it. Now it's been a couple of years.
Yeah. Just talking
And
about
you're up
beer.
to roughly about how
Awesome.
many users or watchers?
Oh gosh.
viewers.
Not
Like
enough.
5 million.
5 million.
That's-
Damn.
that's
how'd
all-
you get 5 million?
that's
Enough
all
to
good
be
money.
monetized.
That's how Keith sucked us into this. He goes, so we're gonna
So
go
weird,
Wow,
right?
are we
Yeah.
really turning into that?
Yeah, Keith
Yeah.
really
For the fun of it.
in the beginning.
Yeah,
Keith
exactly.
said,
Wendy,
we're,
it's-
we're,
we
we're
do
gonna
it
go
for the
do
fun of it.
reviews on
Yeah.
breweries.
No, we want to do our salsa reviews.
Oh, was that
Well,
what it
do
was? Salsa?
Okay.
I think he told me salsa in breweries.
Salsa. We need to do salsa.
salsa reviews.
I think he
love
told me
hot sauce.
salsa in breweries. There was something about drinking involved.
I
in
know
this.
you're gonna
Probably.
drink no matter where
She-
we go. So
And I was like, yeah.
She will rate restaurants on their chips and salsa.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wendy
Done.
roll on their guacamole.
Done.
That's her thing.
See?
Yeah, guacamole.
Refried beans.
Oh,
I'm
refried
salsa.
beans. I'm sorry. Yeah, Wendy will
Ooh, yeah.
rate restaurants on the
Refried beans.
refried beans.
I knew it was the thing. I knew.
I don't care how good your food is. If your salsa sucks, I'm not coming back.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wendy will
And
sit there and
chips, if they're not like
yeah, if they're
fresh.
not right chips, they're not good.
yeah, Wendy will.
And then people
will-
try to do the weird like pastry chips. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I know.
It's a tortilla chip. Where's
Yeah.
your tortilla?
Wendy will,
The
Wendy will
main
sit
thing
there
is-
and say, "Oh, this is canned refried beans."
These are not right.
Yeah.
The
If
main
it's
thing
not
is
fresh.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
gotta
Oh,
be
I
fresh.
had some
Absolutely.
ants. Their refried beans were to die
Oh,
for.
yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably
Yeah,
really
it's
bad for
crazy.
you, but
Oh yeah, no, they
Oh
got lard.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
it's gotta be
the
good, though.
cheese and the chorizo mixed in.
And the
Oh,
lard in there.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
That's
Exactly.
making me hungry.
I bet you they
It
made.
was hungry.
I bet you they made good hot sauce too.
Yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
the
yeah,
main
they
thing
did.
with doing a
Real good
show is
salsa.
just it's for fun.
You can
Right.
tell. You know, and you know, and you know. You can go to that Mexican restaurant and you can be like, "There's a little Mexican lady in back." I know there is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And if the other
Somebody-
ones are
somebody-
like, "No,
yeah,
these are
somebody
all
that
white
knows-
people." Like, what is this?
Somebody that knows an old school
Yep,
recipe.
you're like,
Yeah,
you got
somebody's allowed
grandma
to
in
eat
back
that.
making your hot sauce
sorry,
every morning.
old
Don't lie. I
world
know you do.
Oh yeah.
Like
I-
she's in back
So where can people find you guys?
right here.
Heavy Metal Beer Club. Oh, we're on YouTube. Heavy Metal Beer Club. Instagram
TikTok.
under Heavy Metal Beer
Don't
Club.
give me
You guys are
crap,
TikTok
Erica.
too?
Don't give me
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, we have TikTok.
And
Now
we
the
shorten
TikTok, when we do it, it's a condensed version. It's
Okay.
just about a minute and a
Yeah.
half, opposed to maybe
whole,
3 to
3
maybe
minutes,
10
yeah.
minute. Yeah, some of our shows are 10 minutes on YouTube, and
But
it's
we
funny
just
because
like
our
to have
older
fun.
shows, our older shows, it's literally this.
It's
Yeah.
like the sweaty
Smells
balls.
good, like
Yeah.
beer.
It smells like beer. You drink
love
it.
looking back.
Yeah.
We've improved so
Taste-
much.
Oh yeah,
Tastes
yeah.
like beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and every show
Yeah,
I
it's
try
good.
to do a little
Yeah, it's
something
good.
to improve,
It's
whether it's
good.
the
Did you get it
editing,
again? Yep.
the filming,
I
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we filmed one earlier today.
Okay, bye guys.
So how often do you film then?
Oh gosh. So we can film a bunch of them, but I just usually try to put them out once a week. Like
Okay.
we were in Nashville last weekend.
Oh, so I can't
Or
even
was it 2
imagine the
weekends
ones that are
ago?
coming.
Oh yeah. So we have some that are, and it's not just beer. We have some that are going to be distilleries. We've
Okay.
gone to wineries. It may not just be even a tasting. It might
Oh.
be a place, like
Nice.
a particular brewery.
Yeah.
We may just talk about that place or a distillery rather than the tasting
I'm gonna
of
have
the
to look
product
up if
itself.
you were in Nashville last week. I'm gonna look that up.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
week they
Yeah,
were
we
there.
just put out
All
one
week.
today that
Nice.
was it was tailgate. Here we go. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Hey,
Delbach.
Delbach.
Yeah, Tailgate
Thanks to
Brewery,
Delbach.
which was fantastic. They had an IPA that was brewed with Fruity Pebbles cereal.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
insane.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was good.
It was insane.
You
It
might
was
even
so
Yeah,
like
I
good.
might even like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had
Wasn't hoppy.
what's called the Barrel Project. So those barrel aged beers. They had a couple that were like
Oh,
that.
really?
And there was one. What was it? Was it something cake?
Oh, Black Forest cake.
Oh, Black
Ooh,
Forest
that's-
cake.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
but
a
aged-
beef
sounds good.
sally.
yeah, and it was aged for how long? It says on the thing.
16 months.
Yeah,
Was that the
16 months,
16
something
months
like
in
that,
barrel?
aged in bourbon barrels.
Oh wow.
And it
I
was
mean-
it
Ooh.
was so good.
I mean, too bad you already left. I mean, we would have told you, or I would have told you,
Hey,
Bring
bring
me
me
one.
a crowler.
Well, no, I mean, I know Gatlinburg is very over touristy
Yeah.
type stuff, but they have, there's a reason why, because they have so many, moonshine places
Oh,
there. and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
I mean, Gatlinburg has got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
My sister's there right now.
And I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
we literally, when we were out there last year, looked
They
like
lost
the
John and
Beverly
Wendy
Hillbillies
again.
on the side of a 2-lane road.
Wow.
And I mean, but we went back there and we were having this. I mean, it was the 5 of us and the I don't know what you want to call it, bartender, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
woman that's
Yeah.
running the place and her daughter who was 22 and just like learning.
Oh.
And she like took us in the back and
Oh
she's
my God,
explaining
that's
us how this
cool.
Oh,
all
that's
works
cool.
and stuff like this. I mean, we had the best time for about, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's
that
a
we were there.
dream.
Oh
And,
yeah.
I mean,
That's
and
awesome.
like I said, I mean, the place looked like the Beverly Hillbillies alongside.
Oh,
But it could be a
yeah.
blast.
I mean, it
Truly
was a
did.
gravel driveway and everything. We had to make sure we weren't going to
That's
fall off. the
my
motorcycle.
style.
Yeah,
I
she
love
loves
super
stuff
cool.
like that. Finding the
I
like,
love that.
yeah, the
The
off
corner
places.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. With real interesting people.
Yeah.
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 Captain
yeah, she loves-
Spaulding comes out and the firefly.
I mean, she was great to talk to. She was like, well, I used to be a regular here and they finally decided to hire me. So that
Oh my God.
That way I got paid.
We heard that story today.
Did you?
At the
Did you?
place we went.
Yeah.
Yeah. At
Oh,
the
I
place we went
love it.
today. Yeah.
Oh, my girl with
Yeah.
her nose ring?
No,
Yeah.
no,
the
no.
guy that
He was
was
one of the
cooking in
cooks.
the back.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
one of
they
the
were
prep
literally
cooks.
just looking for cooks Brooks last time we were there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet
and he was saying I
He
used to
makes
come
the
here.
corned beef rolls.
Yeah.
I used to come here all the time.
Keith's going, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
he was a great guy. We were chatting for a while.
That's
He was
cool.
saying
I
I
love
used to come
everybody
here all
there.
the time, and I'd say, wouldn't it be funny if I just worked here some night? He said, I come here so often,
And he
they
likes
might
You
as
should
well
just
hire
pay
me.
to be here.
And they said, well, we just happen to be hiring.
And what was his
Yeah.
job
working
before
there.
that?
Oh yeah, no, the guy was working for Richard Branson from
Really?
Yeah.
Ouch.
He
Oh,
helped,
yeah,
he helped
yeah.
to build the
Yeah.
ship
Yeah, the
thing?
galactic whatever the thing is. Yeah. But and he said, he goes, but I wasn't around for my family. And
Yeah.
he said he was, and
He
I
goes,
said,
now
yeah,
I go
quality
to
of
every
life.
single
That's
thing.
huge.
Yeah, he goes, I'm there for my family all the time now for everything.
He said
You
they
know, I'm
don't
not making
care
the money,
if I
but
pay for
I'm
them
here
to
for
go
them.
to amusement parks. He goes, they want me there
want
to
you there.
play
Yeah.
fish with them, to play
Well,
candy.
that was me. The job that I chose over my other one is I could have taken the job that was going to give me the same pay I was making in the hospital, but I would have been gone every weekend, every
Yeah,
Friday,
I mean,
every
without
other
that.
every other Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would have
Yeah.
been gone,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't see Keith for 2 weeks
Yeah.
essentially because he's working Monday
Yeah.
through Friday, and now I'm working all weekend.
There will be
What's
the
that
time
worth?
You'll be
Yeah.
looking forward
Exactly.
To
So I was like, that's worth the money and the difference.
Oh, quality of life.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
quality.
Keith, you're
quality
only
of
doing
life
that
is-
'cause you're in
is
the
a
other
big
room.
deal.
That's
Wow.
exactly. Hey, put the
I
shovel
feel
down.
the love.
He's
Keith,
not right
put
here, and
the
I can't
shovel
whack
down.
him.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
truly,
So
that
it sounds like Keith's had a few drinks.
we got some more. We got some more here,
another one. You
buddy.
need us to fill you up there, bro.
We're ready.
Yeah, but yeah, quality of life.
It's
that
quality
really-
of
that
life
really
is
you
means
have
a
to
lot.
make that
everything.
choice.
I mean,
Absolutely.
That's why when I retired, I was I actually even thought about, okay,
No
cool, I'll
regrets.
retire, at a young age, and then I can go continue and go do something else. But I mean, I've been having fun doing creative stuff,
Yeah, you
picking
get
up
to be you
instruments
now.
more,
Yeah.
doing. Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny because with the video, so I have these other supervisors I worked with, and they said, okay, we've seen your beer show. Now, which is the real you? I mean,
Right.
that cool rocker guy. you
Or
know?
like the guy we worked
Yeah,
with.
yeah, or this guy here in this uniform that's all straight faced. And I said, well, actually,
That was like
the other
this
guy,
on his.
yeah, the other guy is
Sometimes you got to clean it up for work.
Yeah.
right?
yeah, that rocker guy, that's the real me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pull up
Yeah.
Christine's comment.
Oh, Christine. We love you,
So
Christine.
Christine, if anything,
Heck yeah.
and what little
Oh,
advice
awesome.
I'm willing to give you
Oh,
is, if you don't already know what brew, what
Wow.
beer you like, try them all.
yeah,
Right? Try them all.
Mhm.
absolutely.
And then find which one you like, and then expand just left and right of that a little bit, because if you like, like myself, I'm an IPA guy, and then I end up liking the
Like a
double.
stout.
Well,
Right.
no, I'm not a stout guy, but I like going the double and the triples. And
You
those
used to
are
like
really-
just pilsners.
but yeah,
Damn
I
it,
really.
Seymour.
Oh, yeah, that gets
Look at
And
boring.
they
Seymour.
expanded.
I guess
Hey,
very
yeah.
boring. So I
That's
like the
pretty
IPAs,
nice.
and I really like the doubles and the triples.
So we didn't used to like IPAs, but we would get flights and choose an IPA, and now I love IPAs.
Yeah, no, we both do.
Yeah, and I didn't used to like sours, which she still
I
does
love
not.
Wendy
sours.
loves the sours.
Now
She-
you're talking me and Wendy's stuff.
She's the
Yeah.
one. She's the one who talked me into liking sour. She
Yeah.
said, "Okay, well, approach it as if it's not even a beer.
Yeah.
Just when
It's
you
not-
pick it
it's
up to
just a
drink,
drink.
it, don't think
It's
about
like
a beer."
a wine almost.
Yes.
And then I had one, and I was like, "Oh,
Well, Cloudy
is
with a Chance
fantastic.
of Groot is
Yeah.
technically a sour, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
yeah."
Because they soured it instead
Yeah.
of popped
Yes.
Oh,
it. Yeah.
it's so good.
It's so
Yeah.
yummy.
I
But
think
it's
what
not
was
a
it?
sour.
In
No,
in
no,
Tucson,
no.
it was a brewery called Crooked Tooth, and we love their beers. They're oh my gosh, their 18th hour IPA
Oh,
Crooked
is
my
what
Tooth.
God.
we
To
judge.
die
Yeah,
for good.
yeah, we judge every other IPAs against that. That is
All right,
like
just so
our
you
main-
know, so
Yeah,
Wendy and I have decided that during the summer we're going to on Saturday and Sunday. Well, Saturday nights.
We're going to OEB.
No,
Oh,
so
okay,
what
sorry.
we're going to do, because what we typically do is, during the summer in Arizona,
Once in a great
Yeah.
while, we'll hop
Is-
on the bike.
we'll
and-
jump on the bike at
We're
like
going to
midnight. or
Come
something.
see us.
And so what we do is, every now and then we've gone down to 60 to 79 and go
Yeah.
the back way down to Tucson.
Yeah.
And now we've decided that what we want to try is, if we're going to just go down there, because we've gone down there and gone into the worst neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah. No,
just because we get lost in Tucson.
yeah, no, we'll give
Oh,
you our
come
number.
with
You know,
us.
And what we
yeah,
should
come
do is
see
we
us.
should actually go down there and we should find a couple of these
We have
places
2
to go.
extra rooms. You guys
Yeah,
all
yeah,
stay
we
at
got-
our house.
Yeah, we got
Seriously.
plenty of room.
We got
As
a
long
big
as you don't
house.
mind waking up to heavy metal like Judas Priest
Yeah.
playing on the radio.
And Arthur cooking breakfast.
Yeah, and me cooking good breakfast. Yeah,
Totally good.
yeah,
We're good with
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll
So
go
when
to
are we
all the
doing
good
this?
breweries.
Yeah,
We're good
yeah.
with that.
You tell me. We're
Then we
we're
can
ready
drunk
to go.
drive home. That's totally fine. We'll Uber it all the way home.
No, you just
We'll
come.
all Uber into one
Yeah,
car.
Just
yeah,
Uber it, it'll be
Wait, are we
fine.
still on the air?
We do that.
So
Yeah,
sorry.
I know. I know.
we love
It's
Uber.
9
Who wants to
o'clock.
come with us?
Christine's
Wait, what was that
coming.
last comment from Christine?
Christine.
Sure, we'll even have
Yeah.
somebody driving.
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
trip.
That's
Oh,
the best way.
fantastic.
Let someone else do
Yeah,
the
that's
driving.
right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
Uber like crazy.
Oh
all
yeah.
over
Oh
the
yeah.
place.
Uber
Yeah.
when we do that.
Yeah, we love that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Let's do it. We got to plan it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we got plenty of room. We knew all the great breweries in Tucson.
We gotta
And
go
you know
see
what,
Del
Tucson-
Bach.
Oh
we
yeah,
gotta go see Del Bach.
Yeah.
We gotta go in the morning when they're open.
and
He
food.
said they close
they
at
have
2 o'clock.
tours?
Why would you say that?
yeah,
He said that. I know. Why would they? Why would you say that?
As he's
Go
doing
ahead
his
and-
shot of
Go
it.
ahead and drink that, there, sir. He says they close at 2.
yeah, like 2 PM. It's
That's
it's
weird.
really
What the
weird.
heck?
What?
Hey,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
That's
and,
weird.
and fault them for all you want. I used to think, and I've said this before, I
Fault
think on the air.
Keith. I mean, that's
No,
fine.
no, Delbach. You know,
Oh,
because
okay.
I used to think that the best job I ever saw originally used to be Tampa County or whatever the key is that's right off of Tampa there, and you know it was a police officer that rode around in a polo and shorts.
Oh
on a
yeah,
4-wheeler, and all he did was he just pulled over cars that didn't stop for
Go
people
right.
crossing
Yeah.
across. And I'm like, oh, that's a freaking awesome job.
that's the job. There.
Until I was at a brewery doing a camera job in Minneapolis, and I was like, wait a minute, these guys are sitting around at 9 a.m. and they got like 6
Oh,
or
doing
7,
tastings.
and they're doing
Yeah.
tastings on a Monday morning at 9
Yeah.
a.m. and I'm going,
Yeah.
all right, wait a minute, let me reevaluate what the best job ever is.
Oh yeah,
9
Because these guys-
a.m.
There's a
Right.
reason why they're shutting down at 2 because they have wasted their
They
day.
are
Right.
done.
yeah. Just the other day, we met one of the brewers for Dragoon, and they're in Tucson, and oh my god, that's the job. Yeah, and he was saying, oh yeah, we taste stuff all the time to make sure.
Well, yeah,
that-
get to
that
taste
it's
it all day,
good.
all through the process.
Oh
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
That's why we
I'll
like
be a
to always
taster.
be
taster. I'll be
honest.
like, yep, it's still gross.
Yeah,
Make
But
it
one of the
better.
last times,
It'll
one
be
of the
like
last
Lindsay,
times we
you're
were
fired.
at
Yeah,
OEB,
still
we
gross.
literally, I mean, we're sitting there and we're having a meal and having some drinks and we're having a great time. And we're talking to one of the brewmasters, and they literally were saying that this was some, I forget so they had a vat of, what was that?
Cloudy with a chance
It
of
was
Groot.
Groot. It was Groot.
That was
Oh,
Groot.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
That
Yeah.
was
So we
Groot
got-
Yeah, we
before
got-
So
it was
Lindsay and
carbonated.
Wendy and somebody else I think might have been there with us got
Tastings.
like a
The
tasting
sampling,
like
yeah.
a week before it was
Yeah.
ready to be
So-
released.
so
that's awesome.
The white.
I mean, he literally
it was
just like,
actually
here, give me your glass
husband,
and just, a little
Right
right
out of
off the
the
right
Yeah,
off the-
Oh.
because we were talking
mean,
about
it's-
sours and how I love their sours and they need to make more sours. And he said, oh, we just tried this new concoction. It's a sour, but it's sort of not. And he was like, it's not carbonated. Do you want to try it? And me and Wendy were like, yeah.
yeah,
So good.
That's
So
really
it's
good.
new.
yeah. We bought.
So it's new. It's
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it
probably,
had been around for a long time.
No.
3
No.
months, maybe.
Okay, wow.
Maybe
So that's
3
something about
months.
OEB and the fact that they rotate through their.
They rotate through.
Yeah,
That's
there's
why-
not. It's not
awesome.
the same old.
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
That's
yeah.
why I asked about the
Okay.
Yeah,
Kraken
we bought-
because we ran
Yeah,
out
yeah.
the last time we were there,
Yeah.
and they said they had to make a new batch,
Now
and they
you
didn't
have
know
to.
when it was. So I have a
There's
Kraken
a reason
in the
why you gotta
fridge.
have a couple growlers sitting in your
I
cupboard.
know.
Just in
That's what I
case.
told her. I said
And
they're
that's-
at home.
And that's
I-
for from us.
Yeah, so we filmed there today
Thank you,
for Heavy
guys.
Metal Beer Club.
did you?
And yeah,
Awesome.
and we bought a crowler of that
Groot.
the Groot.
Because we want to
Yeah,
drink it
'cause
while
we
we're
want to
doing
drink
it.
and then
And you
talk
bought
about
the
it on
Kraken,
show.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
No, the Kraken's for
Kraken's for
me.
you guys.
The Kraken's for you.
Yeah, we're leaving
Kraken's
the
for
Kraken.
me.
We're leaving the Kraken
Ooh,
behind.
there's an after show.
There
Yeah.
is an
Yeah.
after.
Kraken's
I'm
awesome.
cracking open the Kraken.
The best, the
It's
best
really
Tupperware
good.
I've ever had.
If they're,
But the
it's
yeah,
so
the Groot,
good.
the Groot's amazing, and they don't use hops. They use what's that?
It's the sour
Wheat.
stuff. It's
Hogwart.
Wheat
Yeah.
and Hogwart. It's
Yeah,
only
and
wheat.
Hogwart. Yeah,
Like,
because it's
something
a
like
sour. It's
15
not
wheats.
considered a it's
oh,
super crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy good.
So good.
Yeah,
And
Oh
it's
my
got
God.
it's
spices
just
and clove.
unusual, which I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It tastes
Super
like
crazy.
holiday.
Yeah,
Herbs.
it's super crazy.
It said it's an ancient holiday
Beer
brew.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Super
Good stuff.
yummy.
right up my alley. Anything that's ancient.
Right?
So
With
folks,
clothes
look up.
and mugwort and whatnot.
How over
folks,
time are we?
Folks, look up Heavy Metal Beer Club. You can see it right
Yes.
there in the comments. Look them up and
Well, thanks, John.
and find them on both YouTube and
you.
Rumble.
And we're just as silly on our show as we are on this show.
I think more
Awesome.
silly.
It's a great show. It really
It's
is.
so good. I love your guys' room.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
just
Yeah, the
rid-
kiss
Oh
room.
my god. I
Yeah,
can't
so
wait
that's
to
why
go
we were
see it
in-
and be like, oh.
Yeah, that's
You come
so. That's why we
over,
were in
we'll all go and
Nashville.
have
We were there
fun.
for it was a big
We'll
Kiss
have so
festival
much
in Nashville,
Oh, is that why you initially went
crazy.
there?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was a
Called-
Kiss
called
festival
Creatures
called
Fest.
Creatures Fest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
3
there was an album
days.
called Creatures of the Night, and yeah, it was just we had a crazy good time. Made a
That's
lot of
awesome.
great new friends. Bought a bunch of cool new collectibles. So I bought this life size. It's the Kiss figures cut out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a guy. Yeah, there
That's
was a
so
guy that was
funny.
leaving. There was a guy that was leaving, and it was one of the dealers, and he said, "Yeah, I'm out of here.
Done.
Make me
Yeah.
an offer." And I said, and I looked at it, and I saw that big thing.
The last day is
And
always
I
the
didn't
best
think he
day to
would-
go.
I didn't
Yep.
think he would take it, and I offered him like $50, and he goes, "Oh, it's yours." And I'm like, "Oh my
Seriously?
God."
Now what,
Right.
now
Yeah,
what
now
the
what
hell
do
do
I
we
do?
do with it?
Yeah, how do I get this thing home?
You're like,
Yeah.
can I strap
So-
it on as a carry-on?
Yeah, so so one of the shipping companies. So yeah, we went through that whole
Oh,
process.
come on.
Oh,
I
one of the
was hoping
shipping
that you were going to
companies.
say that Gene Simmons was sticking out the sunroof or something.
No, we
with a
flew.
tongue, that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
No, we flew. But one of the shipping companies
him in the
wanted
seat next to you.
$350 to
Holy
ship it.
cow.
We're like,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, you're like,
And
I
I was
only
like,
paid
yeah,
$50 for it.
No, so I called the airline. Hey, she does that. She steals my drinks. So we.
I didn't see a
Yeah.
thing.
She was there. She's been
Nothing.
empty.
Nothing
Pass
here
that
to
bourbon
see.
cream
Hey,
down
wait,
here. I got to have
what
one
was it?
shot before we're done here.
Hey Keith, these aren't the droids you're looking for.
These are the droids you're looking for.
So-
I don't know what you're
Bourbon
talking
cream.
about.
Lindsay, LC, bourbon cream.
Yeah. So
Bourbon cream.
I called.
Bourbon cream?
If you
I
want some, you better
called the
get some before we
airlines
pass it
and
that
they
way.
said,
Oh, yeah, we'll
yeah,
pass.
no problem.
There's
You
one
can take
on
that
mine.
on. I bought a
Nice.
box like for a big screen TV that I could put it in and
And
gave
pass
her
it
the
that way. There you go.
dimensions.
That's
I was
nice.
on hold for an hour and
Oh my
she said,
God.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, you could take it on. What's the weight? Is it overweight? And I said, no.
No,
I mean,
it weighs nothing.
it's only like 10 pounds. And so she
If
said, no problem.
even.
So I get it there to check it in. And of course, they're telling me, yeah, no, you
Can't
can't
do it.
take
And you're
this.
like, but I talked to Sandra.
Exactly.
right.
And they're like,
And
oh,
Sandra
yeah,
said
no.
it
Well,
was
they didn't look
fine.
up the regulations. You
And
you
they're
can't
like,
take it.
Sandra's a liar.
So after a bit of
Yeah.
fighting and them getting me some, I had some wrapping and them
Yeah.
getting me some tape and us throwing away the boxes and me just wrapping it up.
Restarting, yeah.
Yeah, they said, okay, yeah, that'll work. That's
What?
the size. Yeah, so
After all that.
yeah, after all that,
Oh,
after
Are you
me,
serious?
well, I had to haggle.
Well,
I told them,
the
be
question
tough
was,
on
Show
all
me
right,
your
so do
badge.
I have to pay for one seat or four?
Yeah, no. yeah.
Show
so,
me your badge.
So yeah.
Put this on.
They're
Yeah.
like, I'm border patrol. I'm smuggling this
Yeah.
guy back to Arizona.
and Gene Simmons wants first class.
Yeah.
I gotta have first
I
class.
gotta have I'm so sorry. You're gonna need to
I'm
upgrade
sorry
us.
there, Arthur, but I only fly first class.
Yeah. He was like, no.
And then Paul
Yeah, you
Stanley
gotta-
saying, "Well,
you gotta- you gotta-
yeah,
You got to do the
Gene's
real
right.
low,
Yeah, Gene's
monotone
right this
voice.
time. I only fly first class also, and then
Gene's a pig.
And then you guys were like, I
Gene's
guess
the
we're
big-
sitting in the back.
yeah. So no, but so
Yeah.
I got that thing home,
That's
and so now
awesome.
it's in the loft. And
Like,
it's
is
in
he
today's
is
show.
he like he good? He made it. He's good.
Yeah, it's good.
They made it.
Yeah, it's
the
in
whole
good
band.
shape.
So
Yeah.
we were waiting for our
$50
luggage to
so I
come,
was like,
and all of a
"Oh,
sudden Derek came
God."
around the corner.
Yeah, here
We're
comes
like,
Kiss.
oh my god! I said, I'm
You
gonna
made
take
it
your
'cause you're
picture, and he's
always
holding
nervous.
it.
You're like,
Yeah,
Right.
no, it's in good shape. They made it. Yeah,
we're
yeah.
excited.
So
So
that's
it's on
a
today's
fun
show.
fun collect. Yeah, it's
Okay, we'll
on. You
have to
can see
watch
it in the background, and I don't know if you can see it in TikTok because you have to do the
The way
weird
it's weird.
When
vertical.
you guys all
But,
come and
the
spend the night,
horizontal, but the vertical on
we will
YouTube,
take
you
your
can see it in the
selfie.
background.
I don't need him looking over me while we
we'll,
spend the
that'd
night.
be cool.
we'll take your selfies.
Don't
with
put him
Come
at
on.
the end
You
of
know
it.
what?
I will
Oh,
scream.
Gene Simmons will be looking
Elsie,
at
you
you
know
like,
you
well,
want to
then
see
see
the
me.
right
My
over your
tongue is
shoulder.
long
You
enough.
know you want to see that right over your shoulder.
Can you touch your tongue with your nose?
No, hell no.
Yeah. I can stick out my tongue and
can't
touch
do
my
it.
nose.
Get
Can
behind
you touch your tongue to
Get
your
away from the
nose?
microphone and show the camera.
Oh, hey.
Keith, you are a lucky
That's pretty
man.
good.
I
You
wonder
wanna
if Keith
know-
is a happy guy.
You want to know what else I can do?
Do that again, Lindsay.
Oh my god!
Can you make your tongue dance?
What?
No.
All right, this is turning into this is the after show.
Are we like a bad
So sorry.
influence? I think we're a bad influence.
Yeah,
one of the
I'll
best.
blame it on Andrew.
One of the best.
Blame it on Andrew.
Truth about beers was, they played and then they had an after show.
Oh my God, I remember. Yes.
Oh, that was so much
Was
fun.
that Parapalooza or was that
It
Truth
was,
About Beer?
You know, it was Parapalooza.
That was Parapalooza.
Oh my God, we had such a
Oh
good
my
time.
God.
Was that the time that I was actually on the air and
I
I
think
was
so, yeah.
rambling? I was drunk and rambling.
Because by the time we get to
So
the
I
after
said,
show,
all right,
we've
I'm
had
never
more
going to go on the
drinks
air again. I'll just, I just talk to myself.
and- So bad.
All right.
Okay.
We're definitely out of time.
All right.
What kind of rating is this?
Well, cheers all. Thank you so much for
Dan's already signed
Erica
off.
says-
Kathleen signed off.
Erica says her classy
Christine
girl has
signed off.
talents.
No,
you know it, girl.
we still got everybody on, but thanks.
Erica signed off.
If Christine
No,
signed off, we
Erica's-
know it's done.
Erica's-
Christine's still on. She's a
Erica's
trooper.
still here.
Oh, Erica's still there.
Look at her
Christine's still there. I
comment.
see
All
her.
right, there they
Oh,
are.
Dan. Oh, there's Dan.
Christine.
Right? Everybody's still on.
We're good. We're good.
Right.
Okay,
All right,
we gotta
guys.
go. It's 9:00.
Hey, we want to thank Andrea and Arthur for joining us
Yes.
tonight from Heaven
Oh,
Beer Club.
absolutely.
Yes.
Guys,
Yeah,
for having
absolutely.
us.
Give a round of applause. Let's do it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for jumping on with us tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you to all our servicemen and women out there, our doctors and nurses, and our Border Patrol agents.
Yes.
Yes,
Keeping our
absolutely.
country safe.
Oh, you got to see the back of my shirt.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. It's
Oh, she's got the green stripe.
She's got the
There
green
you
There
go.
you
There you
go.
go. Look
It
at that.
disappears so you can't see it.
Right?
No, it shows up.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You can
No, it
barely
shows
see
up.
it.
No, it shows up. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Does
Oh,
it look
there you
green?
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Good job.
My Border Patrol shirt.
And this was actually a koozie, but I didn't have a beer to.
Put it right on the
drank
neck
it
of the
earlier.
That's
bell box.
super cool.
Put it
Yeah.
on the neck of
He
the bell
doesn't
box.
have a beer because
Because we're
Lindsay drank
drinking
it all.
whiskey.
You
I'm
know,
so sorry.
We're giving credit to all these different places, Delbach, all these different places. Why don't we have sponsorships yet?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Well,
call
we need
Delbach?
more than 20 viewers.
That's true.
We
gotta-
only do this for fun.
Come on, guys.
Shoot.
Hey, our
We
gun,
actually-
our gun show did really well.
I know.
Awesome.
It was such a good show.
Well, we're gonna find
that
our
was a
voice
really
on
good
episode
show.
64.
Right?
Oh,
But you
your
guys didn't
girlfriend
drink. You
farted
weren't
on us. It's time to
drinking
go.
By the way,
Which
we only
was
have
responsible.
We did well. That's because I had way too many guns and not enough room for beer on here.
I know.
I do want to point out, remember what happened last time somebody farted in the studio?
I know. What else is going to happen? I don't think there's anything more exciting.
I do want to point out we only have 5 episodes left in this season.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
What the hell are we going to do?
Well,
We're ending with episode what?
I don't remember. 46?
68, 46, 48, 40. Shit.
I don't know.
60 something.
No.
68.
40,
Now I got to go back and watch. it.
46.
46. It was 46.
Yeah, 46.
46 is
What,
where
are
I
you
really.
sure?
No.
46 is where we find
I
our
gotta
voice.
go. I gotta go back
46
and
is where I
watch.
find my
Now I gotta go
voice.
back and watch.
Do we
it.
end at 45 or do we end at 46?
We end at 46.
End at
So we're
40.
going to end it when we find our voice?
Yes.
And then we're
Yes.
just going to leave?
That'll be our Ghostbusters episode.
That's the way.
Whoa.
That's the way we leave them.
We're really not doing that, are we?
Probably.
Yeah, because oh shit, I'm supposed to actually like have
You're supposed to have some shit together.
Jeopardy. I got it. Well, I got.
Are we doing Jeopardy?
I'm gonna do Jeopardy on that episode.
I better
Yeah.
watch
Jeopardy.
Ghostbusters then. It's 46. I better watch
So
Ghostbusters.
I gotta get
Ghostbusters
I gotta
then.
get whiteboards, and I gotta have everybody.
We have to have whiteboards?
Yeah, because there's no A, B, C, or D.
Oh, it's one and then you pick the next and then
Yes.
you oh shit.
But we had the online, remember?
Yeah.
We love the
Yeah,
trivia.
we found
Yeah, when
Yeah,
we
I
watch,
love
we love
that.
the trivia
Right?
segment. Yeah.
Well,
we
I
really
had in the background if I needed to, if I really needed to, if we were running short on time. Obviously, we didn't.
You two are running short on time.
do. I'm sorry, I get long
Have you
winded.
met
If
us?
we were running short on time, I had the America speed whatever trivia going.
Oh.
I had that in the background just in case, because I'm pretty sure if I brought that up, still LC would only get about 5.
Yeah, probably.
Christine's the big winner on
you
this.
Well,
when you say
thing
speed
called
round-
Yeah, Christine
yeah,
always
she
wins.
kicks butt.
Christine's amazing.
How
I know.
long are we talking for the speed round?
You want to know what? I kicked ass on the fucking emoji one.
Vote. Dan, we got
Hell
that
yeah.
Oh, Dan, sorry, Dan, sorry, Dan.
bomb. There's that bomb.
Shut up, I'm so sorry.
Dan?
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. If you didn't watch last week's episode, go back and check it out and check out tonight's episode if you haven't watched it. We do count on it rewatches. Like I
Wee,
should
wee,
have said.
Wee.
Thank you,
Have some
Delbach.
more whiskey.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I
Thank you,
love the
Delbach.
outro
Thank you,
music too.
Delbach.
This has been sponsored by Delbach. Not.
No, it has not, but it could be. It could be
Please.
sponsored by Delbach.
Could very well be. I didn't know I had a comment up there either.
Could be.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
And stay metal.
See ya.
All right, yeah,
Bye.
stay metal.